The Godfather.
This that. This that. This that jumpin', yeah. This that jumpin', start like 23. This that jumpin', 2-4 like Kobe. This that jumpin', shoot my shot, then beat. This that jumpin', right around smoke my trees. This that jumpin', start like 23. This that jumpin', 2-4 like Kobe. This that jumpin', shoot my shot, then beat. This that jumpin', right around smoking my dreams. I be ballin' in music like Kobe. I'm the greatest to ever do it, they don't know it. Straight from the streets where the shots came blowin'. I came from the bottom where they hate to see you blow. Mama always told me I'm a shine, so I glow. I came from the block where I stood 10 toes. Came a long way, now I'm on the top floor.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Turtles Take, part 2 of our NFL 2021 draft special here on 1252 Sports Chicago. What's up, Vince? How we doing tonight?
Man, I'm just still letting it all sink in that we traded up and got Justin Fields last night. It was kind of unique to hear national media talk about what a great move the Bears made and what a great move Ryan Pace made, and not only moving up, but what he gave up. Just seems to be when they talk about the winners of round one, everybody mentioned the Bears right away. So it was kind of cool to have that happen. Usually we're sitting back watching all the other teams get that kind of publicity. So it was nice to see the Bears talked about that way. I like the move. We got the second round here tonight. We're going to be following the second round tonight. They'll have the second and third, but we're going to cover the second round, and be interesting. A lot of guys fell from round one that you thought were going to go, and now they're available in round two. And 4 teams that didn't pick at all in the first round are going to make their first pick of the night tonight. You got the Rams, the Chiefs, the Seahawks, and the Texans, who none of the 4 picked in the first round. So yeah, I'm stoked, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to get back at it.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a good second round, as you said. A lot of the media, especially in the Chicago sports media today, was obviously blowing up about Justin Fields. He had that interview there at Hallis Hall this afternoon. He arrived in town. And, man,
looking
I think
great in that bright red suit, standing out. That's what I like. I like to see, especially your quarterback, man, stand out. Walk with that swag,
right. Oh, absolutely. He came into town with confidence. I like it. Before we get into this, though, I think we got a guest here waiting to jump on with us.
Hey, boys. I'm back.
Our boy Angelo.
What's up, Ace? How we doing?
Back. Night 2. This is my third night. This is my third shift in a row, man. Am I getting paid for this shit or what?
I mean, it's our third shift
as much as we are.
Yeah, baby. That's right.
Oh, man. How you doing tonight?
It was a fun show. Long show last night. That's for sure. But
the GMs, they were putting us to the test at the end there.
It seemed like those picks took way longer than 10 minutes towards the end of the night, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That's because we all were excited about Justin Fields, and then that went away when we started talking about everything else, and it was just like
our adrenaline went from here, just crashed. Look at them rocking my Justin Fields bandana today.
I got my new Nick and Ivy t-shirt on to match the hat. We rock.
Look at Tarbell's got that Alabama one on. Speaking of Alabama, your boy Eddie Jackson was pretty happy with
He was dope.
I saw that. I actually heard that on Carmen and Yurko this afternoon.
He almost
over there on ESPN 1000.
He almost said that this is the best quarterback.
Yes, he did almost
best quarterback that he's ever played with. An actual, I believe, is what he was going to say.
He said an actual. Yeah. We got him. Something along those lines.
ESPN right now, they're going through all the big uglies. They got Taven Jenkins, Jalen Mayfield, Creed Humphrey. They're showing them all right now.
So, all right, Vince, let's start this off. The Bears made a good situation happen, right, with Justin Fields. I think we all agree that was a little bit of luck for him to fall as far as he did, for the Bears to be able to get up and not have to sacrifice this year's second and third, right? Where would you look first? I'll ask both of you, but Vince, I'll start with you, man. Where would you be looking if you were the Bears first in the second round? Because we know that there's some needs that they still have to address.
If I was the Bears, I would actually be looking to package that 52nd pick and maybe one of the 6th-round picks and maybe Anthony Miller, Tariq Cohen, whatever it takes. And I'd have to move up in the second round to grab one of them elite tackles that are still on the board. Jacksonville needs a right tackle. That's Jenkins' number one position is right tackle. A lot think he could play left tackle in the NFL, but they do have a left tackle. So they, sitting there at the first pick in the second round, I could see Jacksonville going right away, taking them right away and putting them over there at the right side to replace Jawan Taylor, who led the league in sacks given up last year. So obviously, to get to your question, I would love to see the Bears go offensive tackle now and protect the quarterback. Right as we were, we do our pre-show meeting, right as we were doing it, Diana Rossini on ESPN, they interviewed her, and she said that she spoke with the Bears last night. This time last night, they were telling her, buckle up. We're all in. We're going after it. And that resulted in Justin Fields.
Yep.
She said that today when she spoke with them, they said the game plan for the second round, and she said, what's your game plan going into tonight? They said the immediate game plan is to add protection for our young quarterback.
Nice.
So It was very nice to hear that because, we all said this. We spoke earlier, me, you, and Fat Mike was on. We were talking, and, the Justin Fields move by itself is a great move.
Mm-hmm.
If you compare it up with one of those great tackles that you thought you might take at 20 and still get them in the second round with getting Justin Fields, now it's that much better because now you go to the Ryan Pace side of it. Not only did he go get his guy, but he gave himself the opportunity to take somebody in the second and third round.
Right.
You can add a elite tackle, then you set yourself up really good. And then, the rest of the draft is what it is. Hopefully in the third round, they get a receiver or a corner. Later in the 6th round, maybe some inside linebackers. Maybe there is a move with Anthony Miller to add a 4th or a 5th round pick. But I think
you could do that, right? I think you could, if you're smart, you could package
absolutely.
Anthony Miller for a 5th round pick.
Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't. I think you might even be able to get a 4th round for him. It's draft day. Everybody gets excited on draft day, and they're like, "Oh, I got to make the move now." So all got to do is find a team that looks at in the board in the 4th round and goes, "You know what? I don't love anybody on this board. I love Anthony Miller. I love what he brings to the field.
All you need is one, right?
All you need is one.
One dance partner."
But now that I've rambled on forever, the short version of your question is offensive tackle for sure.
And Tarbill, how about you?
I obviously do have to agree with offensive tackle. I think that was the move that most of us were expecting the Bears to make in the first round had they not moved up to get Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely happy. We've had 24 hours or so for that pick to sink in, and I am truly happy that we've brought, a quarterback with such great upside into this city, something that we haven't seen in such a long time here in Chicago. I mean, You look back to the Jay Cutler days were really the last time we had a quarterback that was respectable on the Chicago Bears offense. And say what you will, Mitch Trubisky did, I don't want to even say lead. He was the quarterback of that team in 2018 when we made that tremendous 12-4 run. But even then, you look at it at the end of the day, Mitch was what he was. We moved on from him. We
don't speak his name.
He who shall not be named.
Nick Foles wasn't the guy. Andy Dalton.
BDN, baby.
Man,
Andy Dalton maybe average at best this season, but
super rude right now. But my ADD is kicking in, and ESPN just showed a whole draft commercial, and every other scene was Justin Fields making some sort of great
making some dime plays. That's what's up.
Yeah, but to go back to your question there, Angelo, and wrap it up,
like kick rocks.
It's gotta be offensive tackle. You've got to protect Justin Fields if he's out there, which I don't think he should be in this coming season. I think they should sit him the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
But even with that being said, you've got to protect Andy Dalton because he's not as mobile as a guy like Fields or even as mobile as a guy like Trubisky was. So, those holes in the offensive line are going to show a lot more with a guy like Dalton in the backfield.
Yeah, and
hold on, boys.
Oh, the night is about to start.
Never mind, they teased me. Roger Goodell went out.
Yeah, he is walking out on the stage right now.
I thought they were going to announce the pick. I thought I missed something.
No.
So,
but yeah, like we all knew, we all wanted everybody. Everybody here wanted us to get a offensive lineman, right, to fix the problem.
Right.
Nobody more so than Fat Mike, right? That's what he was adamant about. If you watched the show last night, he was not a happy camper at first. And I've spoken to Mike since last night, and if you follow him on Twitter at Fat Mike Chicago, you'll see like he wasn't mad at the Justin Fields pick. He was more upset that they don't have an offensive lineman to protect any quarterback that was on this team. And that's why he wanted an offensive lineman. But like we spoke about it today, me and him, the idea of Justin Fields being our version of like a Russell Wilson, right? Or a Cam Newton in his prime.
Patrick Mahomes.
Or a Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes.
We've never had that. I didn't feel this way about when Trubisky came out. I was very disappointed. I wanted Deshaun Watson just because of what he had done in college. And it's the same thing. Like up to this point, actually up to the last couple months, it was Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence, right? 1 and 2.
Right.
They were looked at as the two best prospects. And then for the last 2 months, 3 months, Justin Fields just kept like all this bogus stuff would come out. You know, it would drop like once a week, some big news about him, and it just kept pushing him down and pushing him down. I think he's the second best quarterback for sure in this draft. I'm hoping that translates to the field. Yeah, no pun intended.
Absolutely.
I like what you did there. No, we talked about it earlier. If you look at what San Francisco gave up to go get Trey Lance.
Yep.
A first-round pick this year, next year, the year after. I feel Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Trey Lance, and we gave up a fraction of that to go get him.
Yep.
So
definitely,
we won't know till we see him get on the field and what he does, but
we might not know for the next 3 years.
So part of that Diana Rossini report was that the Bears' plan, she talked to Ryan Pace or somebody at the Bears, and they said the Bears' plan is to mimic the Kansas City plan of Patrick Mahomes. And if everybody remembers, Patrick Mahomes sat the first year. He played the last game of the regular season when all the starters were on bye. He started the game. He looked great. And then they went into the next year as him as the starter, and they moved Alex Smith. Andy Dalton's on a 1-year deal. Nick Foles, I doubt will be here after this year either. I believe it's set up for him to
the start of the season.
Come sit behind Andy Dalton and go on and get in there after this year. Side note, it's 7 minutes per pick in the second round, and Jacksonville is on the clock.
Good. Okay. Let's get this shit started.
Yes, sir.
But
honestly, I do have to stop you there and just say, do you think that realistically they'll be able to follow that plan with Justin Fields? Do you think it's going to be we're going to sit him on the bench all season no matter what? Because I don't. Both of you. I just don't have the courage that the Bears can see that through. I don't know about you guys.
So can I go first, Vince?
Absolutely you can.
So my thought process on this whole thing is, right, like we talked last night, Justin Fields, he's the best quarterback on this team right now.
Agreed.
Right. Yeah. So at that point, whether he's taking a snap or not, you would think he would win out in camp. I think if he's that good, if he's showing you that you have a better chance, he's got a good grasp of what's going on, then you play him. What's the point of sitting him behind somebody that he's head and shoulders better than? You know what I mean? What does that do for him, really? Nothing.
Well, I feel it's
not much.
There's two routes you could take, because unless you go first overall or whatever, and I know he went 11th, but unless it's a Trevor Lawrence or something like that, you don't say, okay, well, they're definitely starting week 1.
Right.
So they get to camp. There's 2 routes you take, right? Either the Patrick Mahomes route, he's sitting behind, the Mitchell Trubisky route, he's sitting behind, or there's the Russell Wilson route. He's sitting behind. Oh, shit, this guy's way better than we thought he was. He's way more ready than we thought he was. You know what? Sorry, Matt Flynn. Russ is starting week 1. The big thing, and Tarbell and I, we talk every day about different stuff, and we were talking, about Justin Fields. And I told him, I said, the thing is, there's no reason to rush Fields out there.
None.
Because if you say, I'm going to start him week 1, and he's not ready, you can't go back. You cannot you cannot then say, you know what, you're not quite ready. We're going to go ahead and start Andy week 2.
No, that
so
would diminish
once they turn
his
the keys over to Fields, it's his until he's no longer with the Bears.
Right. It was like bringing in Nick Foles last year, right? Like they had to start with Trubisky, right? Because if they started with Foles, you could not go back to Mitch no matter.
You know what? I think it's even more than that. I think you could have done that last year. I think if there was a training camp and if Nick his wife had a kid right during camp, I think if all that didn't go into it, I think Nick wins that job. I think Foles is your guy. I just don't think there's enough time. Same with Mitch because he knows the offense.
Mm-hmm.
But however, like I said, going into it, I think right now with a rookie quarterback, once you turn them keys over, man, you can't take them back from them because otherwise that you might as well be looking for your next quarterback.
Right. Yeah, you diminish all confidence that you have in him as a starter, as your future, if you throw him out there and then you say, okay, you're not quite where we thought you were at. Let's sit you back down and put Andy back in.
Right, because we've seen that, right? Look at what happened in, where was it, Philly last year, where they were like juggling through quarterbacks all year, even towards the end of the season, right?
Right.
Like Hurts was in there and they were still playing somebody behind him. Like that's going to shake your confidence as a rookie quarterback. I don't care who you are.
Can I just say, so they're showing right now Trevor Lawrence's day-to-day. I love Shad Khan. He's like the Mark Cuban of football.
He is a little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Because he owns ACW too. So I mean
AEW, yeah. Yeah, he owns it, and his brother is like the president or something.
Yeah. ACW is a thing around here. It's
okay.
One of those local wrestling shows.
But yeah, he's just a cool owner, man. You don't see a lot of these owners. So to see a guy who's out there, he's greeting Trevor Lawrence, he's out with the fans, he's got that cool curly mustache, all those things. Plus, he owns like half of Jacksonville. So, it's kind of cool. And I like what he did with their stadium. They weren't drawing fans. So he said, you know what? Take out all those seats nobody sits in. Let's put in bungalows. And
with hot tubs.
And with a hot tub and a pool right there. You can watch the game in the pool.
Right.
Don't worry about it. And now people go because it's Jacksonville. They can go sit in a hot tub and watch a football game.
Who wouldn't want to sit in a hot tub and watch a football game?
In Florida, you're chilling. That's why I said we should go do a Turtles Take episode when the Bears play the Bucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
right outside.
We should do it on the pirate ship.
That would be wild. I'll pull
so the Jags pick is in.
Not for me.
That's because you're in Wisconsin.
So where do we think they go here? Do they go O-line? They surprised everybody, went running back at 25.
I think if you're going to draft a running back and you have Trevor Lawrence, you might as well keep bolstering that offensive line.
So now here's the thing. For me, I thought a perfect draft, A+ draft for Jacksonville would be Trevor Lawrence at 1, Tevin Jenkins at 25, and Travis Etienne at the first pick of the second round.
Mm-hmm.
They now went Lawrence, Etienne, and could go Tevin Jenkins right here to start the second round and still get the same 3 guys just in a different order. So
that would be wild, wouldn't it?
They could. It would be wild. It's
so
wild that we're even talking about him falling to the second round.
They could use some safety help. Obviously, Moorig is the top safety on the board, but I really like Richie Grant from, I believe, USF or UCF, one or the other. I really like him. He's a hard-hitting, hard-nosed, come downhill, take your head off safety. So I like those kind of guys. Roger Goodell's walking to the podium now, so we'll go to the pick for the first pick of tonight, and we'll get things started. Sorry, not Roger Goodell. This is when they always have somebody make the pick for him. I believe this looks like Fred Taylor. I'm not sure if that's who that is or not.
Okay.
Duval County, stand up.
With the 33rd pick in the 2000
It's Kevin Hardy.
NFL Draft.
That's
Okay.
who's making the pick.
Jacksonville Jaguars select Tyson Campbell, DB, Georgia.
Okay.
Tight end, huh?
His teammate Eric Stokes was
So, the expert panel on the draft show said they thought they'd go DB. I'm surprised it's Tyson Campbell. I thought he would be later in the second round, possibly the third round.
Yeah.
I thought there were some
Right.
better corners that fell.
Maybe,
but
maybe they see something in him.
so the thing with Jacksonville that's very unique this year is Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Urban
Right.
Meyer knows these guys a lot more than most teams know them. Especially, we talked last night, a year where they don't know a lot of the prospects as well as they'd like
Right.
to. Urban Meyer does. He coached against them. He saw them. So they take the corner out of Georgia. His teammate went at the end of the first round, Eric Stokes.
Mm-hmm.
Now Campbell's off the board too. So the Jets are on the clock now. This is another great pick for the Bears because no offensive tackle went to Jacksonville. You wouldn't think the Jets would take a tackle. They took Elijah Vera Tucker to address guard when they
Right.
traded back up in the first round. And, they do have Mekhi Becton, who they took 2 years ago at left tackle. So
I
hopefully
think their defense could use some assistance.
their defense could definitely use some help.
Yeah.
Angelo, you will be happy to know each team as it comes up now, they are showing their needs.
Yeah, that was a
Hell
big
yeah,
pet
that
peeve
was
of
so
that
frustrating
one for us.
yesterday.
I can only take
Ugh.
that as
As people complained about it,
ESPN was watching our show last night.
100%. And they were
was
like, yo, Big Daddy
wow,
Ace said we need
Angelo
to have
Ace
the
is
needs.
Right.
Let's get the
make
damn
Ace
needs
happy.
on the
Let's
screen.
put the needs up there.
That's right. You're welcome, everybody watching the draft right now, because I'll tell you what, it's easier to have a discussion when you have every team's needs
Yes.
right in front of you instead of
And
having
it's,
to go.
and it's showing
to
how many
the
picks they have
screen.
left as well.
Yeah, that's what I like. You
Right.
can see. Oh, so they got 3 more picks.
Right.
Next
So the
round,
Jets have 7 more picks.
Yeah, so they got a lot of stuff they can do.
Team needs wide
Right.
receiver, running back, defensive end, linebacker, corner.
So if it was me, right, I would stay away from the offensive side of the ball in the second round. They can readdress that quarter or the wide receiver in the third round. I think plenty will fall, right? I think
Right.
they should look at a linebacker, somebody who they can put there, who can be the anchor of their defense here and kind of stabilize it, because it has seemed pretty shaky the last couple of years, right? Especially they got rid of
absolutely.
what's his name, Adams, sent him to Seattle, and it's just been kind of average at best.
Right. Before we get into the next pick here, guys, real quick, guys, that first pick of the second round tonight was brought by our guys over at the Jonathan Darren team with the Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group. We're going to play a quick word from them.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Darren, licensed real estate broker with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group in Homer Glen. Are you looking to buy or sell? Have you been disappointed in the past? The Jonathan Darren team with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group focuses on providing you with a concierge level of service during the process of buying or selling. We are a service-oriented team with a fresh and professional approach to selling real estate. Our goal is to combine knowledge, skills, and passion to exceed our clients' expectations, and most of all, we truly care. We are a knowledgeable real estate team focused on offering expertise and innovative solutions for our clients. The Jonathan Darren team has 5 full-service real estate brokers and a dedicated full-time marketer servicing all of Chicagoland. We will customize a detailed plan around your timeline for a sale, purchase, investment, estate, or other needs. Real estate transactions can be stressful, but don't need to be. Let us handle it for you. Visit our website, homesbyjdt.com, or call 708-308-1938 today. Expect better in real estate. Choose the Jonathan Darren team.
All right, guys, and we're back again. That was a quick word from our sponsor, the Jonathan Darren team with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group. If you're looking to buy a home in the area, make sure you hit John up. Him and his team are the best.
I said it yesterday. When I look for a house down there so I can move down to be closer to you guys, I'm going to call him, give him a call, say, hey, give me a house.
He meant closer.
Absolutely.
That's right. Me and Mooch.
closer to Vince. I'm
I am the
south.
closest to him. I'm in Lake in the Hills. I'm only
he is.
I'm only
And my
hours
mom's
from the
moving
top.
there actually. My mom,
It's
I believe she
beautiful.
told me today she's moving there. So like, what's up? When I come down for the live shows, I'll just crash at her house.
There you go.
and party. That's what's up.
Oh,
That's what's
absolutely.
So the pick is in for the Jets. They haven't Goodell hasn't come out yet, but I think they're in a really good spot here. If they decide to go wide receiver, Elijah Moore is there.
Mm-hmm.
If they
Right.
decide to go linebacker, I'm not going to butcher his name again, but the kid from Notre Dame is there.
Yeah, Mike says his name so well.
So he does it so well. If they go, if they go safety, you got they're at the podium.
Yeah, this ain't like the first round.
Future Pro Bowler Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore off the board.
That's the guy that the Packers should have taken
That is the guy.
That is the guy the
Instead
Packers
of-
should have taken.
instead of a
Yeah.
corner. But
Yeah,
hey, you
right.
like what you like, I guess. Right?
That their draft room had to hold my beer and watch this moment. Let's see
And
how
he
bad
is
we can piss
all
off
sorts
Aaron
of
Rodgers.
excited.
Dude, right? That's the first thing I thought of. Is like breaking news of the day was Aaron Rodgers is pissed off with your team.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? It wasn't him that was all excited. It was his boy that was all excited.
Yeah, because he's coming up.
There was somebody flexing, and I thought that was Elijah Moore, and then he put his Jets hat on right in the camera, so I'm assuming that's Elijah Moore.
Everybody's got one of those friends, right?
Elijah Moore, he led the FBS in 149 yards receiving a game. And
The Packers are so
20,
dumb for not
and
taking
it's
him.
so much yards after the catch. So
You're right. I'm watching that video right now. It legit looks like the other dude is way more hyped than
Right.
he was.
So when
you just got drafted to the NFL, and you're just like,
great routes. He's
You
got
just
great
got drafted
hands.
to the
You put the
Jets.
ball anywhere near him, he's going to bring it in. He would have made Aaron Rodgers' life so much easier in Green Bay, but instead he's going to go to the Jets and he's going to make Zach Wilson's life better.
and clearly the Packers
But-
look for no reason to make Aaron's life better.
Right,
Right.
They're like, kick rocks,
So-
Aaron. We're good.
So real
So-
quick, I do have to say, obviously, any player is going to be happy to be going into the NFL. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if you're going to the Jets, are you not just a little disappointed that the next team or the team before you
So-
didn't grab you?
Saying that, if it was, I think that they have some pieces here from the first round that would intrigue me if I was, a player. Zach Wilson, there's a little bit of hope there too, right? I mean,
Right.
I say right, but in I guess, the Jets really haven't shown a track record kind of like the Bears. And
Right.
I just felt better about Fields over Wilson just because I liked his.
So they're comparing his NFL comparison. Round 2 is when you get a lot of the player comps.
Right.
Oh, we
Right.
have a trade.
The
Atlanta's
Bears?
trading the pick.
Atlanta is trading the pick. The Subway trade alert has come up. The Falcons are trading the pick to Denver.
Ooh, that's Aaron Rodgers. Oh, no, that would be with the Packers. Never mind.
You know what I like? Where your head's at, though, kid.
I
I
try.
like where your head's at.
Sometimes
So
I
the
get a little
Broncos-
overzealous. I got like anxiety and
So the
ADD,
Broncos,
so it's like,
the Broncos have made the trade and they've submitted their pick. The pick is in. Don't forget
So what do we
they took
think
Pat
they would
Surtain Jr. It took Pat Surtain in the first round. They paired him up with Kyle Fuller.
mhm.
Could this be an offensive lineman? Did one fall that the guy there they just couldn't resist? The
And
Jets
they
are
know
all
that the Bears are looking.
the
and there's a
Jets are
couple
all
other
knuckling
teams.
up to each other in the draft room. They like whatever they got. They have the team's need as quarterback, center, right tackle, and defensive end.
So
So
that
Kevin
center was
Jenkins-
sitting there.
You're right. Tevin Jenkins fills the right tackle. Creed Humphrey would
Mhm.
fix the center problem. Do they go? They could go safety with Moore out of
They could-
TCU, the best safety on the board. I wouldn't.
They could
think
go
they'd
quarterback.
receiver, but there's still some good receivers there. So we'll see where they go with it. Landon Dickerson from Alabama, he's there as well at center. There clearly is somebody there that Denver saw
Mhm.
when he didn't go, and they were like, "All right, now's the time. We got to move."
And I'm looking off my screen, right, because I'm watching the draft also. So if you guys are like, "Hey, snap out of it," I'm just watching. But because I'm looking at that
Allen
ticker
here
now
in
at
the
the bottom.
chat saying
This
it's
is
the
not
trade
the
before
NBA,
they trade
Allen.
for Rodgers. Whoever the Packers told them to take is the pick. I like the
Kind of some NBA
enthusiasm.
style,
though.
huh?
That is NBA style.
That's NBA style. where
Get
they-
Aaron Rodgers out of our division. I'm happy with it.
Fucking right.
I'd take it
Hell
in a
yeah.
heartbeat.
Are you kidding me?
If
So
for
the
some
deep-
reason if for some reason Rogers isn't in our division coming up here this year and Justin Fields is on the field, we'll have the best quarterback in the NFC North, boys.
Yes, absolutely.
When was the last
It's so
time the
weird to
Bears
hear
could
that.
say that?
I don't think I
Never.
was born yet. That's for sure.
Never since the start of the NFC North.
True.
Right, exactly.
They were in the Central before then. So, but
You
so Denver moving up here. Vic Fangio, he loves his defense.
That he
But
does.
I think he puts too much stock in the defense. Like, you got to remember, if you can't score points, you could stop them from scoring all you want, but you're not winning.
So
Right.
the best two running backs available right now are both from North Carolina. Isn't that crazy? 3 and 4. The third and fourth best running backs in the draft are both on the same team.
In the second round, where they'll have to find out which player it is they wanted so badly. They made
Okay, so pick
the
35 and 219 for pick 40 and 114. Billy Thompson about to make the pick.
Okay. The Atlanta Falcons have traded the 35th pick.
I thought he was going to say have selected.
With the 35th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Javonte Williams, running back.
Anytime we make it through with another tackle, not off.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I thought you were clapping at their pick selection. I was like,
So
What?
He's
what
from
I
North
did with
Carolina.
the North Carolina running backs was I thought they might add a running back.
mhm.
They lost Phillip Lindsay. Melvin Gordon has had issues staying on the
I
field.
guess that's true. That's true.
Injury and legal troubles.
Right.
Javonte Williams is a kid that a lot of people thought he deserved to be in that argument for the top running back off the board. He did have
Yeah.
19 touchdowns in 2020 for North Carolina, that revamped North Carolina team under Mac Brown. Go Longhorns.
Go long.
But so it's interesting. They trade up. You traded up in the second round to get them. You're not going to leave them on the bench. So what that means, Melvin Gordon said, I'm ready to tote that rock. I'm ready to carry the load. And they said, slow down, young man. We're gonna bring him in.
He
Hold
said,
on.
we're ready for
Pump
someone
the
else
brakes, okay?
to carry
Yeah.
that load.
But he's a big boy. He's physical. So they've got Melvin Gordon, who's fast, and now they've got the physical Javonte Williams, who, as we've
Is
all
more
seen in the NFL, they don't like to tackle anymore. So
So,
He's
can I
more
ask you
your
guys a
third
question
down
about
guy.
running backs right now?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's been a kind of this like shift in running backs, right? Where like, now you got Derrick Henry, who's just a beast.
Right.
What kind of running back do you think is a bigger asset to your team? The, Marshawn Lynch type who's just going to dip his shoulder and go, or like a Walter Payton type where he's going to shuffle around, dance, move, try to use his speed.
Do you want the
and then
honest
get-
answer?
Yeah.
A guy like Saquon Barkley, who can run physically,
Mm-hmm.
but can also run away from you.
Right.
The thing about Derrick Henry is he's so damn big that it's so hard. Guys nowadays, they're not looking to tackle like that. It's a business decision. They're like, am I going to go head up against Derrick Henry or am I going to chill out? But
Right.
he's fast too, so you hesitate and he just runs away from you. You don't expect him to at that size. So Miami's pick is in, and the Isley brothers are coming down the aisle to make the pick.
Now from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they're out here to announce the Dolphins pick. Yeah, they took Jalen Waddle early last night.
They've got him listed as guard, center, running back, linebacker as team needs.
Photos. Hopefully someone will give them the card.
Hopefully somebody will get him a card.
So the Isley brothers are hanging out. They don't have the card yet. Oh, they do have the card. They're just hanging out. They had a producer just came off the back, was like, can y'all go to the podium and make the pick?
Yeah, this isn't a party.
Right.
They just hanging out, dancing to the music.
Friends and family, thank you so much. All right? Yeah. The new pick for the Miami Dolphins.
It's the longest pick in the world. It took 10 minutes to get to the pick.
Holland.
Who is it? Oh, Javon Holland.
Okay.
Oregon Dolphins.
So they went safety.
So that's another offensive line.
They went safety and decided not to go ahead and go with Morig, who everybody said was the number one safety. He falls to them in the second round at 36, and they choose to go Javon Holland. I like Javon Holland, but he's nowhere near Morig. They're completely different styles. You've already got their corners already take the ball away really well. I thought Morig would have been he's the better hitter. I thought he would have been a better choice here. You know, maybe they convert. Maybe he plays DB. Maybe he doesn't play safety for Miami. So we'll see. Fat Mike, you know as much about college football as anybody I know. What do you think about the pick?
I like Javon Holland. He's a good safety to have. And with the way that defense is going, I probably wouldn't have went him. I probably would have went the linebacker out of Notre Dame if it was me.
Yeah.
But
Philadelphia's pick is in, boys.
Philadelphia's pick is in. You guys are a little ahead of me.
Yeah,
you guys are a little ahead of me.
So that's why.
So they have not. So Miami right now at 6, they took Jalen Waddle. At 18, they took Jalen Phillips. And at 36, they took Javon Holland. So they got themselves a playmaker receiver, and then they got an edge rusher and now a safety. So kind of helping out that team. You know, Brian Flores, he runs a great defense over there.
Mm-hmm.
Both those last 2 picks are definitely going to help him out. Xavier Howard leading the league the last 2 years in picks. So now he'll get a little help on the back end over there. Philadelphia's up. We'll
Cincinnati traded with the Patriots for the next pick. Just so you know.
They have not announced that yet.
I just got it breaking by my boy Adam Schefter, you know.
Yeah, you sent me a text.
Yeah. No, well, Twitter has notified me, but he would have sent me a text either way. But right. I told him that I have his notification on, so I don't need all this the thousands of text messages.
Man. You're a busy dude.
See now, okay, so I just got that too. The Bengals are trading 38 to the Patriots. Okay, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good move, but I mean, I don't know if I like that, especially with all the offensive tackles that are still out there for Cincinnati.
That's what I was going to say. That's where
someone who could protect Joe Burrow, but I don't think the Patriots are going to be going offensive line here.
I don't either.
After the Eagles pick here, if whoever they pick, if it's not that linebacker,
I think Philly takes the kid from Notre Dame.
I was going to say if they don't take him, that's where the Patriots are going. I think.
Yeah, because you had some guys, or they could go. I think the Patriots could go Morig because Patrick Jones is retired.
Yeah, here we go. Lineman talk, baby. Give me that lineman. I want that lineman.
No, everybody be quiet about lineman. Let everybody.
Yeah, we don't want the NFL to hear
exactly. Exactly. I really hope Tevin Jenkins falls to the Bears.
Stop saying that. You're going to get up. Stop it.
How wild would that be, right?
That would be absolutely wild.
It's been a pretty active opening here in the second round. The Bears could be looking to get up to that 39-40 spot.
Watch the Bears go in Bears fat. Watch the Bears give this pick to Ryan Pace, and Ryan Pace take Kyle Trask.
Stop it.
No, this isn't the Pro Football Focus draft here.
Look, can we at least give a little bit of credit?
And then in the third round, we'll take Sam Ehlinger.
See, so I wouldn't be opposed to the Bears actually looking at a second quarterback with
not in the third round.
Yeah, not in the third round.
No, with one of those 6-round picks, why not? Why not look at maybe adding a second quarterback, kind of how Washington did? Obviously, the 6th rounder isn't going to be on the same level as a Justin Fields, but what did the Patriots do a lot of, right? The Patriots drafted multiple quarterbacks, right, and then use them later on and trade.
So here's one I want to throw out to you, Mike.
Right?
What do you think about that? New England, if the linebacker goes to Philly or whatever, what if they go for a receiver?
Well, that's something that New England's had a problem with over the last couple of years. They've wasted some, not wasted. They have used some big picks.
Still there.
Right, they've used some big picks and some big wide receivers, and it just hasn't seemed to fall their way. N'Keal Harry was one of those guys,
right?
They've had a bunch of those picks, and it gets pretty rough. Guys, I'm going to drop out for 2 seconds, and I'll be right back. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay,
no problem.
And
I'm sorry. I'm getting blown up on the other end here.
You're good. Perfect time because here comes the Philadelphia pick.
Hi.
Thanks for the chuckle, Chuck Tarver. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
It was a dad joke. I get it.
Mike Golick is making the pick for Philly. Man, he lost a lot of weight, boy. He's skinny as hell right now. I love Golick.
Golick's from Cleveland?
Yeah. Devontae Smith. He said Devontae Davis.
In the 2021 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select a guard from Alabama, Landon Dickerson.
Roll Tide.
Okay. Philly's definitely had some problems on the line. So, now they go out, they get Landon Dickerson. You put him out there, you still got oh my God, I'm having a blank right now. Their right tackle. He's like the best right tackle in football. Come on, boys. Help me out. Philadelphia's right tackle.
I'm looking it up right now. Hold on.
I was good.
I'm trying to get to Google. Philly's right tackle. Philly's right tackle.
New England's pick is in. That didn't take long.
Yeah, they definitely know who they wanted.
They know who they're going after.
Mm-hmm.
Landon
Collins?
No, it's a safety. Man, you're killing me, Angelo.
I'm looking. I said, who is Philadelphia's right tackle? Dude, just show me the depth chart. That's all I want.
That's where we need our analytics.
Lane Johnson, that's it.
You're right. We need to have somebody. If you're out there, Twitter or Facebook, YouTube, anybody out there knows a guy who's bored at home, who's looking for a nice little fun time finding
or anybody that works for
us.
1252 that's just hanging out in the chat.
No, Alan is our
Lane
PR,
Johnson,
our PR guy.
Thanks, Tarble. That was only about 5 minutes after I said Lane Johnson.
You guys are great.
That was great. I appreciate your help.
We got Big Mike in the chat for the second night in a row.
Yeah, that's my dude, Mike. That's my guy, Mike. I found out who that was. He texted me. He's like, wrong Mike. Like, well.
So now you've got Lane Johnson. You now add, a center/guard in Dickerson from Alabama. I think he's more of a center than he is a guard. But they could play him at guard. He could play both. I'm not sure if Kelsey Kelsey.
The Bears
retired.
moved up. The Bears moved up with Carolina, trades the 39th and 151st to Chicago for 53, 83, and 204.
Let's go, boys.
They traded their second and third round pick and their first pick in the sixth round to move up.
Yeah, but they got the 105 back too. But I mean, that's far.
So they traded
right.
That's what, the fourth round? So they traded their second and third and a fifth and got a fourth in this pick.
Yeah.
It better be Tevin Jenkins, baby.
You got to think that's who it is, right? Who just traded Atlanta? No, with the Patriots.
Christian Barmore off the board.
Off the board.
Oh,
Alabama all over
Cincy traded with the Patriots, right?
What's that?
Cincinnati traded with the Patriots,
yes,
right?
And the Bears are up now. They haven't updated on the show yet, but 39 to tab says Chicago.
So was Cincinnati drafting before the Bears, before this trade, after the trade with New England, right? They would still be still be drafting in front of the Bears, even making that trade.
Correct.
So
they would have picked 15th of this round where the Bears were 20th.
So right. So maybe that's what the Bears thought. They were like, let's
quickly,
move up
just to get it out of the way. Barmore, dominant nose tackle. He reminds me a lot of Vince Wilfork that New England had when they were winning Super Bowls. That being said, I'm over it. I'm now on to the Bears.
Let's go, Bears.
Executive decision. I'm switching gears.
This is Tevin Jenkins, right?
The Bears just made it. The Bears pick is in. Somebody get Fat Mike back here.
This has to be
we don't need Mike. We don't need Mike.
That's
I'm here.
Fat Mike.
What's up, Alan?
What's up, guys? I had to just come in for this pick.
This is so fun. It's like a house party.
Absolutely.
I'm just sticking for this one.
51 different starting quarterbacks in the Super Bowl era. Most in the NFL. So,
serious number.
Wide receiver, offensive tackle, guard, center, safety is what ESPN has them listed. It
Wide
better be an
receiver
offensive tackle.
is number one.
I wouldn't say number one, but yeah.
That's what they
It
said.
better
That's
be an
what they have.
offensive tackle.
It's got to be tackle, guys.
Tevin Jenkins is sitting
Tevin
there.
Jenkins.
That's who it's going to be, I feel.
It's gotta
Eichenberg
be
is
Jenkins.
sitting there.
I spoke this into existence yesterday.
You did.
I
That
said,
Mike said
everybody
it too
have
when he was
faith.
just here.
I fully believe in me. We are going to exercise all the Bears' demons in this one draft.
We talked
Ryan
about this.
Pace moved up for the right quarterback.
It's a
He
serious
moved up
move
on the
up.
right amount. He
This
moved up at the right
2021
time,
draft,
and he's
that's
still
the
going to get the
Bears'
tackle. Everybody
best
wanted
draft
him to get
ever.
at 20. However, everybody be ready and be prepared for Ryan Pace to go full Ryan Pace on you. And when you think you know who they're going to take, they kick rocks.
We're supposed to say positive here, Vince.
I
You
like to
said
think
that
that this is
yesterday.
the opposite of 2017, guys. Like,
Look,
I'm hoping
we're
that
exercising
this
all
is
of our
the draft
demons
where
right
it's
now.
all different.
The
Everything's
Bears
going
need
the
to-
opposite.
The Bears
Hopefully
need a
so.
positive draft, like how negative 17 was.
You guys want to hear what they're talking about the Bears? Oh, the pick is in.
Yeah.
Turn it up.
The Carolina Panthers have traded the 39th pick
Rasheed Davis. Come on, Rasheed.
Sheed.
with the 39th pick in the 2021 NFL
Oh,
Draft.
come on, man.
The Chicago Bears select Tevin Jenkins.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's it.
I can't believe so.
Wow.
So they did everything that we thought they wouldn't do this draft. They went and did it, right?
Yes.
that's
Right.
exactly what just
Hallelujah.
Hell yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Hallelujah. Get on the
So-
train, guys. Here we go.
Every
Let's go, boys.
Let's go.
120 pounds.
Wow.
This
Pace
man
is
a beast.
killing it. Yes, he is.
They're
Hey,
showing the
this-
video right now. This dude is an absolute monster. He's nasty. He's looking for contacts. He's looking to
This is the
block,
guy
get up
Mike
to the next
wanted.
level, make
He's
another
looking
block.
to kill
I'm
people.
telling
Right.
you, this dude, this is the draft, baby.
This is it. This is it.
I
but-
said this last night. I said, what if the way this draft is going, they can get to the second round and get a
That's really
tackle?
all I can
And
say.
Angelo, what did I say earlier? Me, you, and Mike talked. I would take
That's
one
a
of them
home
sixth-round
run.
picks. It costs more than I
Absolutely.
thought. I didn't think that you'd have
That
to
third
give up the
rounder is
third-round
kind of
pick,
a steep,
too.
a steep
But at
ass.
least they
too.
got a fourth round back.
Oh my God, this dude
So
is a monster.
And
I'm
to go
watching
get
this
this
video.
guy, I'm willing to give up the third round pick in exchange for a fourth round pick to go get this guy. If you said, okay, well, I'm going to give up my second round pick to move
That's
up
amazing.
and get their second round pick, and I'm going to have to give up a sixth, cool.
Let's go, Mike. Let's go, Mike.
Come on, Mike.
Yeah.
You don't have to jump off a cliff now, Mike. Beautiful.
So
That's who
real
you
quick,
wanted in
thing.
the first round, right?
Yeah, our
Yeah,
guy Fat
yes.
Mike wanted him in
We
the first
all-
round. So
we all picked him in the mock.
Holy
We got
shit.
everything we wanted
Round of our
in
mock
2
draft.
days. 2 picks.
Oh my God, I love that pick. Oh my God, I love
So,
that
Mike, are
pick.
you officially back on?
I'm back on the bandwagon, baby.
Okay. So this
I'm
is-
back on. They got
Mike,
my tackle. He is the meanest. He is the meanest whole line coming out in this draft.
Dude, I watched these clips. The dude's he just pushes you. You don't
I
want-
love his
He's a
glasses
fucking
too.
he's a monster.
He looks like he's like a little fucking like science nerd. I love it. But then he gets out there and just
Dude.
murders people.
You have no
Dude,
idea
Riddick,
what
baby,
that
he's
does
all
to that
over
Bears.
there.
Oh, dude, I am so happy right now.
We're on the
I am
train,
so
Go
baby.
live.
happy
Go
right
live
now.
on Twitter. Go live on Twitter.
Oh my God.
Mike,
Oh my God. Oh my
on
God.
Twitter to apologize to
Mike.
Ryan Pace.
Mike, you need to go all the way up to Nick and Ivy Brewery and apologize to that guy and his kids from last night. That's what
I
you
was
need to
just
do.
gonna
I am
say.
so sorry.
No,
You need
that's
to be like,
not
sorry guys, he made up for it. I won't be allowed
I'm
ever
sorry,
again.
I'm doing a show, but fuck this
Dude.
pick.
This is what we talked about all
Dude,
day.
I cannot
Yes.
believe that literally just happened.
Mike, I
Do
know you
we know
got
what we
up
gave
last
up?
What's that?
What
Yeah.
did we give up?
We gave
This
up.
second-
We gave up our second round pick,
Yep.
third round pick, and fifth round pick or sixth round pick for their pick in the second round and their fourth round pick.
But they got another fourth, didn't
Okay.
they?
Yeah.
So we now, instead of picking second and third, we pick second and fourth.
Hey, but
Instead
you
of
know what we
80
have now?
I can live with it.
It's one
Wait,
or
no,
two.
no, no, wait. Explain it to me one more
All
time.
right. All right.
We
So
gave
the
up-
Bears,
we gave
the
up
Bears
52.
traded. The Bears traded their
83.
second, their first, and their first 6th round pick this year for
Okay.
Carolina's 39 Their fourth round pick.
And 102. So you basically gave up 83 to go back to 102.
Right.
And then, and other than that, they made the same deal that the three of us talked about earlier.
Yep.
They took their second round and their sixth round pick and used it to move up in the second to get Kevin Jenkins.
Isn't it ironic, right? Like Waddle and Sylvie talk about it all the time. Waddle says, how things can shift like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And 48 hours ago, the fan base wanted to annihilate
guys. We
Ryan
got the Bears. Atlanta picked Richie Grant, the safety out of UCF.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what do you guys? Where do you guys? What do you guys want the Bears to go after next?
Well, unfortunately,
your cornerbacks are going to go. Your cornerbacks are pretty much done at this point.
I tell you who they need to go in the fourth round: Shakur Brown out of Michigan State. You go get Shakur Brown and you let him start opposite Jalen Johnson.
Okay.
He's got length. He's a man-to-man lockdown corner. And at the fourth round, you're not going to – the best ones are going to be gone by then.
I don't even know if he's there in that spot, honestly.
Do you think – and now this may be a pipe dream. This may be a pipe dream. Where do you see Amari Rogers falling?
Amari Rogers?
I don't know that he'll be there in the fourth. There's a chance he is, though.
I had him early third.
So if he does fall the best thing for that is that you've still got some of the top receivers still on the board.
Yeah.
So somebody's going to fall.
Wide receiver corner here.
Okay, so now obviously I'm all aboard on the wide receiver trade.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with a cornerback. I'm done. I don't care anymore.
Right.
We got our tackle.
I don't either. You just got two generational guys.
And that's what
we seriously got the second best quarterback in the entire draft. So
that's what I said last night and then earlier today in our conversation. If you only come away from this draft with the quarterback, the tackle you wanted, and either receiver or corner, I'm good. I'm good with that. So
I'm so happy with that pick. I am so happy with
ecstatic.
Absolutely.
Ryan Pace was the most hated person in Chicago sports
and now
going into yesterday.
He is stepping his fucking game up.
If you're a Bears fan and you're not happy, like both these guys, let's be honest, they could turn out to be complete shit, right? But at this exact moment,
bite your tongue.
Those are two top end in their position that the Bears got. So they automatically have gotten head and shoulders better than they were last year.
Yeah.
I'm completely shell-shocked.
I told you, man.
To the second round.
Opposite 2017 vibes this year.
Well, just right. Jacksonville easily could have taken them to start the second round. They easily could have taken them at 25.
Cincinnati could have easily taken him without trading up to the pass.
I thought they both were a play.
Denver could have taken them. So many teams could have taken them.
Yeah. I feel like
it's a beautiful day, boys.
Screwing this
beautiful day.
up, right?
So now when you talk about it, you've now got into a draft where you've got your quarterback. You got not only did you get a quarterback, but you got who we all have talked on the show we feel is the second best quarterback in his draft.
Right.
Yeah. You got the second best quarterback in the draft, and you got the tackle that everybody wanted at 20.
The one we picked at 20 in the second round.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing, guys.
And honestly, even giving up the third round pick and getting the fourth round pick, you didn't overpay for either move.
Yep.
Right.
Remember, we still have 3 more 6th-round picks, and you still got Anthony Miller.
The only thing that it really cost you was the first round.
Throw him over. You can throw those guys over, and you can move up in 4. You can move up back in the 3rd. You've got enough currency.
I'm looking right now. They've got the 5 next best receivers, and they don't have Amari Rogers in that 5.
Bailey in here.
So you realistically, I know that's only they go on a run here. They don't pick again until 102 or 103, but they easily could. Somebody could fall.
Absolutely. 100%.
I'm totally okay with this, guys. I'm back on. I'm back on board.
I'm not mad.
That's
why we were trying to calm you down last night, going off a cliff. There's too many good tackles in this draft not to be happy.
And the way they were falling when
people
were taking tackles, you said somebody's going to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You nailed it with him last night, Vince, 100%. That was the whole argument you made against Mike last night, was that you are going to be able to move up in this draft. They could probably still move up. They could get back in the 3rd round even, guys. They still have things to do.
If they're going to draft a receiver, Anthony Miller will be moved.
He will, 100%.
Absolutely.
Now they got to get rid of Foles.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's who they got to look
That's
for.
a big cap hit, though, Mike. We all discussed that last night. He's got $10 million in dead cap right now.
Look,
$10 million in dead cap.
They wiped it out in a day.
You have to wait until after June for that. I don't know how much that number comes.
You can move him tonight. You only save $3 million if you wait till June 1st.
Yeah, I'll get rid.
That's
if you
$3 million we don't have right now anyway.
If you pair him and Anthony Miller for a 5th round pick, I'd do it. 5th round.
I don't think you can.
Every NFL team has plenty of money.
Worth a 5th round pick.
He's not.
You
just got Teddy Bridgewater to go for a 6th round pick. How are you going to get Foles for that? There's no way.
If you trade Foles in one of your 6th round picks, you could move up to the 5th or 4th.
See, I think that's what you do with Anthony Miller, but we'll see. I hope they do it again. Keep it up.
The Detroit
All
Lions.
right. I just wanted to come on here and hop on and say, go Bears.
Yeah, we're not doing the whole round, especially since the Bears. We'll do the whole 2nd round, but we won't do the 3rd round.
We're definitely not doing the 3rd round.
Bears are out of the 3rd. There's
right.
I'm out of here, guys. You guys have a good rest of your show. Take care. Have a good night.
I'm out too, guys. Later, guys.
Alan, thanks for jumping on.
So now Detroit went left tackle to start, and now they go defensive tackle here in the 2nd. So they're building, as Dan Arnold said,
getting some building blocks for sure.
Ankles. They're going to fight in the trenches.
That's what he wants to do. He wants to bite ankles, man, and then get up and bite some more.
Right.
So I just got to say, now you've got that weapon of a tackle here, boys. That's phenomenal. That was a phenomenal move. I'm ecstatic to see the Bears make that move.
Yeah.
I don't care that they had to get out of the 3rd. Fuck it. At the end of the day, you got the guy that you wanted. You got the guy that we all said we thought they were going to take in the 1st if they didn't move up. So now you've got the 2nd best quarterback in the draft, a great talent at tackle, 10 times the player Charles Leno is instantly.
Right.
And this draft couldn't have gone any better so far. I mean, there's still some things we can do, obviously, in the 4th. And in the 6th, you might be able to grab another guy that could be a reserve player for the offensive line or something like that. I would like to see him make one more move towards offensive line, even if it's a guy that's not going to be an immediate impact starter.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. If you take 102, and I know I'm getting crazy here, but if you take 102 and you package it with Anthony Miller, even if you have to attach one of your 6th round picks to it, and you can move back into the 3rd round or even up into the 2nd round and get one of these other tackles that's still there, you can address both tackle issues right away.
And as soon as you take that 2nd tackle, you call Charles Leno and say you're fired.
The Miami Dolphins select Liam.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Eichenberg, there we go. Kind of expected that to happen.
Yeah, and it's crazy now to look at it and see they made 2 moves. They identified 2 guys. And I feel they identified Justin Fields and they identified 11 as the spot. If he made it past 10, we're going to move up and get him.
I agree with you.
And then Tevin Jenkins, the best tackle on the board going into round 2, when he made it past the first 4 or 5 picks, they said, we can now move up and get him.
Yep.
So
not only have they made good picks, but they've made good spots to move up. And like we talked about, they haven't overpaid.
They've made good picks. They've made great picks at just the right time.
Right.
I mean, I think it came out that Minnesota was thinking about moving up to get Justin Fields last night. And that was why the Bears moved up where they did. They moved up to the perfect spot.
Correct. That's why the Bears moved up. They got word that Minnesota was thinking about moving up. And that goes to what we talked about, Angelo, we talked about. Do you move up to 16 or do you risk, is there a difference of 11 and 16? At that point, did it take the 1st rounder? Yeah, it did. But you know what? You were able to go get your guy. Now, by, we can't make a big enough deal about that first trade that Ryan Pace made, because if he just gives up the 2nd round pick, you don't have the ammo to move up to get Tevin Jenkins.
Right.
By leaving yourself the 2nd and 3rd pick, you left yourself the bullets in the gun to fire when you needed them. Yep. And it's exactly what he did. He took the 2nd, he took the 3rd, he got a 4th back, Would I love to have the third? Absolutely. But again, why risk losing Tevin Jenkins over if you're picking the third or fourth round?
Right.
Exactly. I agree 100%.
Two guys
with
you
that.
really wanted. Now, they had Louis Riddick. He was on the Bears with those two picks. You're ready to take off. You've now got a future franchise quarterback and a franchise tackle and a mean, nasty tackle at that.
Yeah, I love his attitude.
And you can see they both have kind of the same attitude. Obviously Tevin Jenkins comes out more because of the position he plays. But Justin Fields is that kind of guy too. He's that that swagger, chip on your shoulder. You guys talked about it here. Lower your shoulder and run through somebody. We're not going around anybody. That's the mentality they have, and that's the mentality this Bears team wants to have. So
that's the mentality this Bears team's lacked.
He's a great run blocker as well. It opens up the run game. It opens up the play action. It opens up Justin Fields. It opens up all of that now by these two picks. I just, obviously Ryan Pace is going to get the credit, but there's got to be Matt Nagy involved because we've seen the Ryan Pace trade moves and we've seen what goes on. And as much as we hate the word collaboration, if the collaborating those two made this happen, they've got me back on board. They've got me in favor of them. Obviously, they still got to produce on the field, but they took a big step with these two moves. For me, as a Bears fan, to say maybe they made the right move leaving these two guys in place.
All right, guys, before we get into it any further, I just want to take a quick minute. Let's say that Bears trade-up pick was brought to you by our guys out in beautiful downtown Lockport, Illinois at the famous Nick and Ivy Brewing Co. Let's hear a quick word from them.
Hello, this is Paul from Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. We are located at 1026 South State Street in historic downtown Lockport, Illinois. We are very excited to be partnering up with the Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show as well as the 1252 brand because we are one of the few Chicagoland breweries that embrace sports and sports culture. Come in for a fresh brewed beer made right here in Lockport while catching the game of your favorite team. Stay for the live music that we have booked every weekend. Or just come for a cozy atmosphere to enjoy a good conversation with a friend, loved one, or complete stranger. Nick and Ivy makes you feel right at home no matter what the occasion is. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook by searching for Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. Visit our website for our up-to-date tap list or to go shopping on our online store at nickivybrewing.com. That's Nikivy brewing.com. Come in today for fresh brewed beer born and raised in Lockport, Illinois.
That was a quick word from our other sponsor here at 1252, the Nick and Ivy Brewing Company out in beautiful downtown Lockport, Illinois. Man, every time I watch that commercial now, my mouth just starts watering because their beers are so phenomenal.
So it's a beautiful bar, right? It's a sweet street that it's on. It's real old school type of feel when you go to that bar, and I love it, man. The setup we had when we did the live show was excellent.
Merrick.
Woo! Trayvon Merrick is PC to Vegas.
Vince is alive. He's just lagging a little bit, but it'll work itself out.
Yeah, it will. It'll work out. But
did you guys hear the pick?
I did. Yeah,
we did.
We can hear you. We just can't see you.
Oh, okay. So that was the pick. It's funny. That was the pick that Mike wanted them to make yesterday.
Yeah.
When they took Bearmore. So it's kind of, another team that in the next round, they were able to get the guy that a lot of people thought they should have taken the first time around.
Right.
This draft has definitely been an interesting draft.
Yeah, it's really interesting how it's shaken out so far, for sure. A lot of guys have fallen farther than you would have expected them to. And, it's one of those things you never know until the cards are all on the table how the pieces are going to unfold, so to speak. So
yeah, it's kind of like, so you looked at this draft, right? And the Bears seem to have so many needs that they needed to fill. And there was like, no way we can get every piece we need. Right. And then yesterday we talked about, as it went on, it was like, oh, wow. A lot of these good players are falling further that the Bears need are falling further back. And can this happen? Then they made the Fields move, and you were like, okay, that was huge. What do they need next? And this was the guy that the majority of us on Wednesday wanted the Bears to get. So I tweeted out, you've changed the vibe of this team so much with both the attitudes that you've brought into your team, right? Justin Fields has this like, I don't have a chip on my shoulder because I know I'm good type of attitude. Tevin Jenkins, he's just a monster.
Right.
That's the kind of vibe you need on your offense when it's been hibernating for so long. You know what I mean?
You guys want to hear the Cowboys pick?
Yeah.
Next, let's see which direction they choose to go. Here comes Joe Pearson. After a long wait, found his way into the Hall of Fame. So
He just stopped and took his hat off. I don't know why.
Oh, he's mad. He looked mad.
Thank you. I am honored to be here to represent the Dallas Cowboys and have this opportunity to announce the 44th pick in the second round. I'm also honored to be here in Cleveland, Ohio, home of one of the all-time greatest franchises in NFL football history.
Really? I wouldn't say that. But.
Tonight, on the shoulders of many great Cleveland Brown football players like Jim Brown, Leroy Kelly, Bobby Mitchell, Gene Hickerson, John Wooden, Gary Collins, Dr. Frank Ryan, and the great number 42, Paul Warfield.
We get it. They were relevant once. It was before I was alive. But
as a kid growing up, the
that's fantastic, Tarbo. That was the best way you could
have. Bro, make the pick.
However, on behalf of the five-time world champion Dallas Cowboys, Hall of Fame owner Mr. Jerry Jones, Miss Gene Jones and the Jones family, head coach Mike McCarthy, all those players that played before.
He win the Oscars.
I would like to thank my wife, my children, my brother.
This guy acts like he won an Oscar.
44th pick in the second round, the Dallas Cowboys select defensive back from Kentucky, Kelvin Joseph.
Good pick.
So,
Very
quick,
good pick.
Does everything the Cowboys have to do be so over the top?
Oh, my God.
That was outrageous.
And then it's so over the top. Then he screwed himself up, but he said the second pick in the 44th round.
He got himself so hyped he didn't know what to do.
Right. He was talking about my little cousin's baby's mother's nephew.
Right. So that being said, I really like this kid. He's he's a hard nose, gets his nose right in on the ball type corner. He's not afraid to hit. He's a great cover guy. He started LSU and then transferred to Kentucky. So we'll see. Dallas definitely wanted a corner. They didn't get in the first round like they wanted, but they get him here in the second round. So we'll see. Now Jacksonville's on the clock. Their pick is already in because their whole clock was used up by Drew Pearson taking forever to make his pick.
That was the longest announcement I've ever heard in the history of the NFL draft.
Too much.
I'm not dogging on the guy, but when you're going all the way back to Jim Brown, come on,
But Dallas, Dallas had made two picks. They got Micah Parsons, and now they get Kelvin Joseph. So they've helped that linebacking core, and now they've helped on the secondary as well. So we'll see. They get Dak back, so that's going to help the offense. We'll see what what they can do here now that they've added some defense. We know Fat Mike hates Cowboys. I could care less if they ever win a game.
Hey man, we have some Cowboy fans that watch this show.
Do we?
Yeah, my buddy watches for me. He watches because of me.
And he's a Cowboys fan?
Yeah, no, I don't know what's wrong with him, man.
Oh, Jacksonville doesn't have nobody because they already went in the second round. So here's Roger.
With the 45th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Walker Little, tackle, Stanford.
It's a good pick.
Now you see the tackles going, boys.
So it's a good pick. And what it tells me is that a lot of teams would have taken Tevin Jenkins before he got to the Bears.
Yeah, good call.
Absolutely. He would.
So now you look back on what they traded. Was it worth it? Yes. Right.
Oh, 100%. I think that
Vince dropped the mic on that. He knew that was a good-ass statement. And he was like, what? I'm out.
I don't even know what happened. All of a sudden, I was gone.
Now we can hear you, but we can't see you, brother.
You look like John Cena right now.
You can't see me. So, I like this pick. This kid, Walker Little, he's a big dude. He's 6'7", 325. The Bengals are on the clock now at 46.
They have to go offensive line, right?
They took Jamar Chase. You know, I don't know. Everybody keeps saying that, but they added Riley Reif in the offseason. You know, that solidifies one tackle spot. You got Jonah Williams on the other side. So you don't necessarily have to go offensive line. They could. Otherwise you could go for another playmaker. Or they might trade back again. You know, Cincinnati's got so many holes. Zach Taylor might start. It says team needs is tackle, guard, center, defensive end, linebacker, and corner. So really, if you can get an offensive lineman at any position, it'll help Cincinnati, is what they're saying.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, they were pretty inept, especially after Burrow went down. That team was just hot garbage the rest of the season.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think you just have to protect Burrow as much as you can at this point. You can't risk him getting hurt again. You know, he could have a career-ending injury if they don't have the right offensive line around him. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely, you could.
And that's obviously something you don't ever wish on anyone or want to see. There's some. I'll give you an example. There's some Bears fans who, just say horrible things. They wish Aaron Rodgers had an injury or something like that. And I've never personally understood that mentality. That's
Roger back out for Cincinnati since Pearson's bullshit that he went through. Goodell's like, you know what? I'm going to run this ship.
But I get what you're saying, Tarbill. Like,
pick is in.
The NFL's Inspire Change.
Oh my God!
Showcases how the NFL family works together to reduce barriers to opportunity and create positive change in communities across America. Cincinnati native Means Cameron is a graduate of Program Mortar, supported by the Bengals' local Inspire Change efforts that helps minority entrepreneurs build a comprehensive skill set. From there, Means built his own successful business, Black-owned, and is using his growing business to create a brand that transcends race, generation,
can we just get to the pick?
Location.
I was just thinking the same thing. Like, I get it. No, you know what, though? That's the thing about the second and third round is it's for, especially the second round, it's for shit like this. What you've done for communities and that kind of shit. We sat 4 hours yesterday, so I'm a little on edge. I don't want to sit 4 hours to get through round 2, but
so Means Cameron is making the pick for them. He just took dude's kid and was like, "Here, come with me." The kid looked at him like, "Who are you?"
Who they?
And with the 46th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Jackson Carman, tackle, Clemson. Let's get it.
That's what I'm saying, boys. You get on a roll with a position like that. And now
that's exactly what happened.
Now tackles are just going to roll until they're all gone. So
I know. So this kid, obviously, he's a big-time player. He was third team All-ACC in 2019. He went to Clemson, 27 career starts in 40 games. With Dylan Radness still there, that's who I would have had to go with if I was going tackle. I thought it was a little early for Carman, but
So Cincinnati has kind of screwed this whole draft up, really.
Yeah. Right. Well, so they got the first pick right. They got Jamar Chase.
Right, but
after that,
since then they've been all over the place. They have not done what they need to do at all.
No.
So
and we're gonna see because they were far away from being a good team. So they've not done a whole lot to get better. You got the receiver, but you haven't done much other than that.
And their defense struggled too. Their defense wasn't that great.
And they lost some players since then.
Right. So I mean that's a team that's like I would have put them I would have their situation right now is how I thought I was gonna feel about this draft with the Bears.
Yeah.
Is like, okay, you got some players, but what did you really get anybody who's going to be that impact to help you get better this year? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's how I feel about Cincy is I don't think they did much to improve from where they were last year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you made a great step in the first by getting Jamar Chase, but you haven't done your team any justice in what you've done since then. You can only trade back for so long. We talked about that yesterday. At some point, they're going to have to start winning football games.
So really quick, guys, as much as I do love these outstanding first 2 picks the Bears have made, I did just see someone post on Facebook Super Bears Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think it's a
who
little
that was, right?
I think it was you.
It was me.
That's a little premature, is it not?
Right now. I mean, premature. Come on. Can you ever be too premature when it comes to the Bears? If you're gonna do it, you just do it, baby.
Super Bears Super Bowl.
That's right, baby. If you're gonna do it as hard as you can until
Whoa.
Hey,
hold my beer and watch this.
That's what she said?
You said it, not me. You said it, not me. But for real, like, I'm a little hyped. But when is the last time you've looked at a Bears draft and you were like, all right, that's 100% so far optimism going forward. They did nothing wrong in this draft at the moment, right?
Right. Agreed.
So usually by now I'm punching the pillow. I don't hit my walls because my name's not Kyle.
But
right. So I don't hit walls or drink, monsters or anything like that. I just hit my couch. Like, oh, damn it. Fudge. Because I'm a nice person. But like this draft has given me this like, okay, cool. I'm looking forward to next year, right?
Yeah.
Before this draft, what did we have to look forward to? Andy Dalton?
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
It was great to see. It just came across the bottom on the ticker. At 39, the Bears got Tevin Jenkins. At 11, they got Justin Fields.
Yeah, those are some high-ass
caliber players. Everybody, up to, like you said, up to a month ago, everybody was talking about being the number 2 pick.
Yeah.
You got him at 11.
Yep.
And then you traded up to get him 11. Then you traded up to 39.
Right, and you get a tackle who was projected first round.
That everybody said was going in the first round.
Right.
And he's a big, mean guy. I mean, you got a hell of a steal there, I think, with Jenkins. He's a big guy. He's versatile. His footwork is pretty damn good for being just a college player. Obviously, that'll develop as he gets into the league here even more. That was a really special pick for the Bears to make. Yeah. But, Angelo, I do love your optimism. That's why I had to bring it up because, like you said, it's one of those things, even prior to this week, what did we have to look forward to as Bears fans?
Nothing.
Almost nothing. So now you have literally made 2 big splash moves that changed the whole dynamic, the entire outlook of this team moving forward.
The whole organization, though, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It makes the team itself, the players, and it makes them look and feel more like a competitive team.
Right.
But it gives you a little bit of hope for guys that we had written off, right? Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace. We were done with them. And, yeah, they still might.
Hold that thought, Angelo.
But it's time to bolt up. With the 47th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Chargers select Asante Samuel Jr., DB, Florida State.
Okay. That is a good pick.
That's the other guy the Packers should have drafted if they were going to take a
right. If you're going to take a corner, go get Asante Samuel Jr., first team All ACC 2020.
So
the Packers didn't even take the best at the position.
So the knock
they
on him is he's 5'10", 184. That's the knock on Asante Samuel Jr. Great player, 5'10", 184. How is he going to go up and compete against the big physical receivers? So
I mean, with big receivers,
but the Chargers said, we're going to get him. Now San Francisco. So you got Trey Lance in the first round. Yep. You now get to the 48th pick. Long time since you picked. You picked third because don't forget they traded up. So now they're all the way back to 48. And the kid from LSU, the receiver. You don't think so, Angelo?
Nope. This is where Aaron Rodgers gets dealt, baby. The Packers move up to 48. The Packers move up to 48. The Packers get Jimmy G, and they keep Trey Lance because they want to have him under Aaron Rodgers until Rodgers is done, right? Boom. Makes perfect sense.
What trade picks are they going to give up to get Aaron Rodgers? They already traded them all for Trey Lance.
That's right. True. They traded 3 first-round picks.
That was obviously
to move up there.
But
no, I know.
I just I really am hoping one day Aaron Rodgers doesn't play for the Packers here pretty soon. So,
but
there were breaking reports that he could actually just choose to retire, and then he would owe Green Bay $11 million if he did that. And some insiders have said that that's something he may be willing to do if they can't reconcile.
I'm assuming Jeopardy would pay pretty similar to that, right? Here's 11 mil.
San Francisco down to 22 seconds.
Jeopardy, like we'll cover the 11 mil there.
Yeah, come be our host. The ratings were good, and hey, let me tell you, I did not mind Aaron Rodgers.
I heard an 80-plus-year-old man call into Carmen Yurko the other day
he was pissed.
and say that Aaron Rodgers sucked as the Jeopardy host, and he didn't know what he was talking about.
So you've got the linebacker there from Notre Dame. Terrace Marshall is still there. Dwayne Eskridge is still there if they decide to go wide receiver. Otherwise, there's two. Basically, your top 5 of Mel's best available right now is 3 receivers and 2 linebackers.
Okay, so now is where we potentially just see the receivers start to roll as well.
Yeah, and so you got San Francisco coming up. They could easily take one. Arizona, I don't think takes one. They added AJ Green. You've now got DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, and Christian Kirk there. So I don't see them going receiver. The Giants at 50 are not. They went receiver in the first round. So it gets kind of interesting here to see who's going to fall, where receivers are going to go.
I wish I could say that dude's last name. That is a badass last name.
We should have had Mike enunciate
while
he was still on.
I know that it's Koromoa, but I don't know how to pronounce the first half of it.
Right.
I'm not even going to try because I'll embarrass
myself. That sounded pretty good, right?
That sounded pretty good.
You got it.
New in 2021 is they got a new offensive coordinator, Mike McDaniel, but he's been in the system of Kyle Shanahan. But he replaces LaFleur, who went over to the Jets to join Salah. Added Alex Mack at center. He's at the end of his career, but he played in that system in Atlanta under Kyle Shanahan. He's still a really good center, so he added him. Corner, I think, could have been somewhere they went. Now with Asante Samuel gone, we'll see where they go. Rodgers walking to the podium.
Yeah, because the 49ers.
Here we go.
And the commissioner is making his way to announce it. They were the ones who sort of got this party started last night with a bang.
And we're only 11 picks away from Cleveland picking again.
No one cares except you, Vince.
With the 48th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Aaron Banks, guard Notre Dame.
Okay. I like it.
So earlier than I thought they'd go get him, but they like their Notre Dame offensive lineman. Mike McGlinchey is on that line. Now they've gone out and they got Aaron Banks. So you've got Trent Williams at left tackle and Mike McGlinchey at right tackle. You've got Alex Mack now at center. And now you've went out and you got Aaron Banks in the second round at guard. They are creating a very athletic offensive line that will be perfect for Trey Lance to be back there, be protected, and also get out there and run, which San Francisco loves to do. Not to mention George Kittle's the best blocking tight end in football.
Well, yeah, I mean, versatility-wise.
You're muted.
You think I was going to talk. I was waiting. Do you think that the 49ers look to move Jimmy Garoppolo sometime before the season starts?
I don't, because I don't think they're going to start Trey Lance.
You don't?
No, I think they're going to start Jimmy G.
Do you see a scenario where, let's say Jimmy G starts, right, and it's not going the way they want, or it's going okay,
or
and they feel confident, and then they're like, hey, why don't we trade Jimmy halfway through the season to a team who might need that quarterback? And then
I can see that happening.
Yeah. That would be kind of like an NBA type of move, though, one team is one player away type of thing. But I think it would be.
I was going to say it doesn't happen very often, but the last time it did, New England traded him to San Francisco.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. He's that splash player now. Why not?
Yeah.
Realistically, Angelo, I do have to say I disagree with you there, Vince. I think that Jimmy G will not be on this roster. I think they'll move him. I think there's going to be a team that doesn't come out with a quarterback that they wanted, or, one of these teams that get one of these late third round, fourth round type guys that are obviously developmental quarterbacks and not pure starters. Maybe they'll move him to a team to be somewhat of a mentor. He is a veteran now. He's been in the league 6 years or so.
So what about a team like the Texans, right? They didn't pick first round, right? And they don't know the situation for Deshaun Watson yet, right? So they could be a team that's like, all right, we're about to go into the season. I know they have Tyrod Taylor, right?
They have Tyrod Taylor.
But is he somebody that you think you could rely on to play well enough to get you to where you want to be? Or could you be like, well, what if we offered San Francisco a third-round pick and maybe a second next year for Jimmy G or something? You know what I mean? Something like that. I know that there was reports that they wanted a first
pick for the Cardinals.
That would be something I could see happening.
Really, Jimmy G ain't worth the first. Before we get to this Cardinals pick, what pick does Houston have? Whose pick did they get? That their second-round pick? Because if it was theirs, it would have been early.
You're right. Let me. They might not have one actually. Now that you say that.
The Arizona Cardinals select Rondell Moore, receiver, Purdue.
Living up that offense, man.
Wow. So they went receiver. They added AJ Green in the offseason. This kid, I don't know that I've seen somebody have a better draft season, I should say, than Rondell Moore from Purdue. He's 5'7", 181 pounds. He had an insane vertical. I believe it was like 38 was his vertical at 5'7".
I did see that.
He ran 4.28, I believe his 40 was. And he was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year in 2018. I mean, the kid is fast. He's dynamic. As a freshman, he was first team All Big Ten as a wide receiver and punt returner. Also, Freshman of the Year. So to make first team All Conference as a freshman in the Big Ten is saying something. And the kid is absolutely a burner, a straight burner at 5'7". Obviously,
I would only be concerned with the height. I love the quickness. I love the speed, and obviously he's got a crazy vertical. But in today's game, 5'7" is small for a receiver. I mean,
right?
Absolutely.
It is something concerning. He's a slot guy. It is somewhat concerning. He's a slot guy. He's going to be in that type of role.
Right.
And, maybe a little bit of a gadget player similar to.
But see, now you put him into an offense that has Kyler Murray. It has DeAndre Hopkins. It has AJ Green. And it has Christian Kirk.
Right.
You don't need him to go be an outside receiver. You don't need him to be a prototypical receiver. He's a guy that could go be the gadget guy for you. He could be your Tariq Hill. He could be your Swiss Army knife. And by all stretch of the word, he is that type player, 5'7", 184 pounds. So we'll see, if that translates to the NFL or if he's one of those no-name guys that everybody forgets about in 3 years.
So I looked up Houston. They don't pick until the third round.
See, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I thought they had a late second, but no, they don't pick until.
I thought they traded both their first and second. You know what threw me off? ESPN said that they were picking tonight. I was thinking the second round they were making their first pick of the night. The third round will be after this. We're just not covering it.
Yeah, no.
But the third round will be on. That's when they will be making their first pick of the night.
So if you're looking to see our beautiful faces, you better get the most of it because there's only a few more picks left.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little more than a few, but
we're getting there though. I mean, the second round moves obviously a lot quicker than the first round did.
Yeah, I mean we're at 50 of 64, so
thank God. That was a long show, boys. I enjoyed every second. It was very entertaining.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think we need to start like a Patreon or something for that type of a show where we have everybody on and it's just mayhem. And that's kind of what it was in a little bit there in the middle. We had a little bit of mayhem.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it was a good time though.
That fat Mike take there. I watched it back this morning and I was like, he was just as pissed as I thought he was at the time.
Yep. But that's the thing about Mike, man. And that's what I love about Mike is he's so passionate like all of us. You know what I mean? And
definitely.
We've all watched this team struggle for so long. And I know it's just football, right? But it's pulled the fan base in so many different directions. We argue constantly over should this person stay or go? Is the quarterback good or is it bad? You know what I mean? And like, I think we're just all in that defensive, like, well, that was the stupidest thing they could have done. When this draft, if you look at it now, it's kind of something where you can be like, all right, I think everybody's on the same page. Like this team is moving in that right direction. So Mike was a little pissed, but I think he had every right to be.
No, absolutely.
But as bad as he was last night, that's as great as he feels right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yep,
the lows and the highs as a Chicago Bears fan, man.
And, like they said, unfortunately, that's they bring that out in you. You know,
they really do. They bring the best and the worst out in you. And I think I heard today on ESPN 1000 that last night was one of those moments where you can drink for the Bears in a positive way, and usually they make you drink in a negative way.
Right.
But that's the reality of the situation, though, right? Is we don't have a lot of positives to look forward for as Bears fans. It's hard to see the light. It's hard to be optimistic. Last night Vince kept saying, we're keeping this positive, we're keeping this light. But realistically, up until we made that Justin Fields pick, what was there to be positive about? There wasn't.
You were going to get Tevin Jenkins at 20?
Right. We would have settled, right? But this is better.
But and the funny thing is, if we got Tevin Jenkins at 20, none of us would have felt like we settled. We all would have been like, yes, what a great pick. But to think now, here we are 24 hours later, they've got Justin Fields and Tevin Jenkins.
So this brings me to a question I wanted to ask towards the end of the show. They talked about it on ESPN 1000 today. the Waddle and Sylvie show. Sylvie was talking to a bunch of callers about it. Him and JD were on.
Yep.
Are we being duped? Right? Like every year it seems like Bears fans fall hard for their draft picks, right? And then every year it's like we get kicked in the gut, and it's just like the worst. I tweeted Sylvie and I was like, it's kind of like, when they were talking about, well, should you fall for it or should you not? And a person like enjoy the ride, right? Like enjoy this feeling of, and it's kind of like when it's kind of like when that pretty girl shoots you a "Hey you" text, and you're like, you get those butterflies, and you're like, oh damn, all right, what's up? And you got to kind of just take that jump and be like, all right, I'll talk or I won't talk, and whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean?
They got Adam Schefter.
You could end up getting left at the altar, or you could get married and have 12 kids. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to jump in. What do you guys think?
So I think this year feels different. It feels like they're making the right moves, and a lot of the moves they've gone out and made are the right moves that a lot of people feel. Let's transition really quick. Let's pick up the Giants pick here at 50.
With the 50th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Azeez Ojulari.
Okay.
So they get the linebacker out of Georgia. The kid from Notre Dame slips even farther. But we thought the Giants might go linebacker in the first. They traded back. Thankfully, they traded back with our Bears so we can get Justin Fields. They took Kadarius Toney. Now they go and they get he's more of he's a linebacker, but he's probably going to play D end in that 4-3 that they run there. But that's the Giants. Everything you think about the Giants, you think of pass rush.
Well, they just showed that they have a bunch of picks for next year too. So I'm kind of feeling like they're looking at this draft as like, okay, we'll get some guys that they can help a little bit right now, but next year let's stockpile a bunch so we have the ability to move around and get key big name pieces that we can use.
Right.
Which is kind of how the NFL has become, right? Like that's the crappy thing is once you're eliminated from the playoffs mathematically, it's like it's what's best for your team at that point, right? Like, do you lose or do you not? And I think teams like the Giants find themselves in this situation where they're like, yeah, they should be drafting for using their picks that they have, but I feel like they're just banking on next season. You know what I mean?
So you've got Washington on the board here at 51. Do we see one of the quarterbacks go now? They didn't get their quarterback in the first round.
Yeah, I think
this is a spot that was identified as a team in Washington that does need a quarterback.
Is this a Kyle Trask spot?
Do they make a move here at 51 and bring in one of these, that next three, the Kyle Trask, Kellen Mond, and
Mills?
Davis Mills. Is it one of those guys? Or do they go another route? Here, no, we're not going to have to wait. Here's the pick.
They do. They're going Mills. I'm calling it right now, boys.
They went to Dean Davis in the first round at 19.
I'm going to say Mond.
Division, the Washington football team is on the board. They went defense last night with Jamin Davis. Let's see where they go here.
Here we go. With the 51st pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Washington football team.
You want to say Redskins?
Samuel Cosmi.
Sam Cosmi, left tackle.
Maybe they think they can get one of those quarterbacks a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean, you're more than halfway through or about halfway through this round, or more than halfway through the round. We're at 51 or 52 now of 64, and none of those quarterbacks have gone in the second round. Now you're getting teams that don't need one. Carolina at 52, no. Tennessee at 53, no. Indy at 54, no. So we'll see how that plays out the rest of the round. But I like this kid. I'm a Longhorn fan. I like this kid a lot. He was one of the guys I wanted for the Bears. Carolina has traded the pick again. Carolina is trading pick 52
to the Chicago Bears.
To the Cleveland Browns.
What did they?
Cleveland Browns have moved up from 59 to 52. So they took Greg Newsome out of Northwestern, the DB, at 26. Now they move up from 59 to 52, 7 spots. And there's somebody on the board they like. Maybe it's the receiver. Maybe it's Terrace Marshall. Terrace Marshall is still there.
Okay.
You know what? I'm calling it right now. It's the linebacker out of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They liked him in the first round. He's still there. I think they go get him right now.
What's his name?
We shall see.
I don't remember how to say it. I said it, and I don't remember how after I said it.
That's all right. That's all right. Everyone knows who he's talking about when he says
Jeremiah Owasu Karamu.
I don't think it's Karamu. I think it's Koamoa.
All right, Koamoa.
I'm pretty sure. I think
either way, tomato, caramel.
Yep, I've been called Camacho and Camacho. So, hey, they got it right, kind of.
I don't understand how people butcher your last name.
Right, my name is Camacho. It's pretty simple, I thought, but
our guy Alan's going to have to go get the new Madden.
Macho Man Savage look-alike?
I want.
I'm waiting for Madden.
I'm behind you, so I can't see.
So not only did they trade up, but they traded up when the draft is in Cleveland. These fans are psyched. They've got a Macho Man look-alike. Koromoa. Uwasu Koromoa.
You called the pick.
No. That's just
that's how you say it. Uwasu Koromoa.
Mel Kiper said his name.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy really does kind of look like Macho Man.
Mel Kiper saying it's Jeremiah.
It's a Macho Man mask. Okay, I see it now. That was ridiculous.
A speedy receiver, somebody you didn't have up there.
That's stupid. I said that dude looked like Macho Man, and I was like, oh, wait. He's wearing a mask. That's the Macho Man's face. That's why he looks like Macho Man.
I'm good with either a linebacker here, if it's Koromoa, or a receiver. And the only 2 receivers I want is either, I guess 3. Terrace Marshall, Dwayne Eskridge, or Tutu Atwell.
I personally don't care where the Browns go.
Hey. Hey. I'll go shitting on you.
Hey, let's ask the chat. We asked the question yesterday. How many of you guys have like a second favorite football team?
Yeah.
Who's your backup team? And who is it? I want to see some of these answers in the chat.
I forgot that Cleveland had brought in John Johnson, the safety that was with the Rams and the Jets. I forgot they brought him in in the offseason. So that makes that corner pick even better because they didn't need the safety. Here it comes. Here comes Roger. Come on.
I forgot they're in Cleveland this year.
But it was in Chicago. Nobody forgot. That's how good that city is.
What'd you say?
Chicago is the greatest city in the world, but
Joining me tonight for the Browns pick is Coach Marty Gibbons from Lake Catholic High School.
as long as he doesn't thank 42 people and
Coach
take 10
Gibbons
minutes.
is the recipient of the 2020 Cleveland Browns High School Coach of the Year Award.
Okay.
His commitment and dedication to the football community goes above and beyond, and he is truly a player's coach. Coach, we congratulate you for your awards and what you're doing for the next generation of our youth. Coach, it's your honor for the
He
Cleveland
coached
Browns.
Mitch Trubisky.
How good of a coach is he, though?
What's up, Cleveland?
With the 52nd pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
I knew it. I said that. Owusu Koramoah. That's what's up.
You
Love
got it
it.
right. Angelo 1, Vince 0.
For the first time this draft,
For being able to pronounce the player's
I
name.
was gonna say, I picked the right guy.
You picked him, yes. You had the
I
pick.
just said
You
the
called
name
it.
right.
Yeah.
So we were a tandem there.
I prematurely
Thank you.
said that you had the pick, and you did. So
We've
there
been
you go.
through this, Darville. They make pills for that.
Oh my! Moving on.
You know, so here we are again at 52. They trade up and they get a guy that a lot of people had them taking in a lot of mock drafts in the first round.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it just goes to show you how these guys fall, and you see a team move up. And I don't think we can talk about it too much, but I want to go there again just to see. You know, Ryan Pace did that twice. You know, he moved up when he identified a guy, did it twice. He was able to get the guys. Now you see a couple other teams do that, or guys falling. I think there's a great pick for them. They run the 4-3. They got great pass rush up front. He's a guy that's a sure tackler. He plays the run well. He can drop into coverage as a linebacker. I like the pick a lot. So,
I need to start watching more college football. I've come to that understanding,
do.
right? Like
That
I
you
told
do.
you, I don't really watch college football ever. I watch it, well, not ever, but I'll catch it when I can. But it's usually like North Cincinnati State, East West High School, college versus
You need to watch this
nobody
team right here.
So I need to start watching some more so I feel like Vince and Fat Mike were just like smoking me this whole 3 days. They were, but I want to keep up next year. That's what I'm going to do.
Well, see, I have the privilege of being an Alabama fan, so I usually know like 10 of the top prospects in the draft every year.
Yeah, you know everybody that's going.
So,
sorry, I threw up in my mouth a little
It's
bit.
like, oh yeah, this guy good. I watch him every week.
right.
So here we are,
I know what
Tennessee
he
now
can
at
run
53. Where do you guys think they go?
Who's up? Kansas City?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
They went Caleb Farley in the first round at 22.
What are
So
their
I'm trying to
needs?
think of back to last season where they struggled the most, right?
So I think they're going to go wide receiver.
That's what I was going to say. They have
They
a
lost
solid.
Corey Davis in the offseason. He went to the Jets. So I think that's a big spot for them there.
They still have Brown, right?
I could see them going tackle because there's still a few good tackles there. I really think it's one of those two spots that you see them go. And there's some really good receivers still there. Eskridge is there. The kid from LSU, he's there that we talked about earlier. I think it's got to be one of those two that you would go get, especially when you lost Corey Davis. Terrace Marshall,
Okay.
that's the kid from LSU. Sorry to Terrace Marshall.
Yeah, I guess I could see them going after a wide receiver. It only makes sense, right? They, as much as I love Tyreek Hill and his dynamic. Oh, I'm sorry. God, why am I stuck on Kansas City right now?
I don't know, it's horrible, bro, because you're wearing that stupid Alabama shirt.
It's, I guess, the
Yeah,
red.
man. Why don't you try rocking a 1252 shirt, huh?
Because I
Our
need
team.
one. Because the
I'll
guy
make
that
you
was
one.
supposed to ship me one has yet to do it. It's in the mail with my fucking
Hey, where are your
Manscaped.
guys' hats? Oh yeah, good call. Hey, that's a sensitive subject.
My hat doesn't match my Nick and Ivy shirt, so I wore my Nick and Ivy hat.
Turtle, I'm not gonna lie, man. I am a little
Jealous?
Jealous of that Turtles Take flag, man. That's cool as hell.
I got a second one too.
Yeah, he's actually mailing me the other one. So.
Well, what about me? I'm on this show almost just as much.
Dylan Rainez, the tackle off the board, North Dakota State.
Okay, he was one that I thought would go a little bit earlier. I mean, we're almost through the second round here, boys.
Right.
So
he's a big boy. He's 6'5", 301. You know, but he's another guy. North Dakota State didn't really play this year.
Right. You know, and I guess that's going to be one of those storylines that we're going to talk about, you know, a few years from now. How many of these guys fell in the draft because they didn't play a whole season due to COVID-related protocols or because they opted out, whatever the case may be? You may look back and have some phenomenal talent that moved down just because of that.
If I'm San Francisco, I'm hating this film they're showing of Radness right now because it took till the 6th play to show Trey Lance throw the ball. The first 4, he ran it, and the 5th, he handed it off.
There he goes again.
Ooh, that's a good throw there, right there, though.
I wasn't 100% sold on him going there. I think there were better options left. Fields at one point was the 2nd ranked quarterback in this draft. We've talked about it already, but
yeah,
you know, you just look at that, and I am so thankful that we have as Eddie Jackson said, a real actual quarterback on our team now.
So now we got the Colts at 54. The pick is in. We talked about it possibly going this route in the first round. Do they go receiver here?
I think they almost have to go receiver now.
Who do they have right now as receivers?
The first round.
They have,
or no, they went D end in the first round, I believe.
Yep.
Didn't they get an edge rusher?
Yep.
Yeah. So you got. Oh yeah, that's right. They got Kwity Paye.
Yeah. Big name guy.
Did you see the video of Kwity Paye when they interviewed him? And during his interview, he told his mom she could retire.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was
cool,
that's
man.
awesome. I love seeing stuff like that out of
players.
They've
got them listed as left tackle, wide receiver, and safety as team needs.
Really? They don't have it listed that they need a wide receiver?
Left tackle, wide receiver, and safety.
Left tackle, wide receiver, and safety.
Are you still thinking about the Chiefs?
No, I'm past the Chiefs.
You know, that Alabama shirt is really causing you problems.
Let's talk about, you said, that guy with his mom retiring, but how about Najee Harris, right? Threw a draft party at that homeless shelter, like that, where he spent time. Like, that's cool, man. I love when guys do that kind of stuff.
And they said he's already reached out to, he's already got his people working to reach out to the community of Pittsburgh to see where he can help with homeless shelters in Pittsburgh.
That's what's up.
See, that's awesome. That's outstanding. You know, you got guys like that, and then you have guys like Aaron Rodgers who don't even talk to his own family.
Yeah, man. Like people, I think it's great.
Hold on.
People
I'm going to ask you guys a question about that. I've heard a lot of people talking about this. What if his family just sucks?
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
you know, I was just making a joke.
Listen, he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy.
Family. Well,
he didn't strike me as the kind of guy who had a
falling out,
like a rough childhood. I feel like he probably had a little easier childhood. You know, he probably didn't like when he was getting yelled at. Grounded. You're grounded, Aaron. Go to your bedroom. I hate you, Mom. And that was it. That's what I picture him getting mad about. Is something like that. Not like his mom blew up his car or something. Something small. That's just kind of jerk face he has.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I don't.
And I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I probably
you're right. And you know what? On this show, fuck it. We're just gonna bash Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
That's what we do. So I'm okay with it.
Where's Tyler? I want to yell at Tyler for Aaron Rodgers today.
I think Tyler's in hiding.
Yeah. Tyler's not even in the chat. I haven't seen him out today.
Especially when they drafted a corner, and not even the good one.
I think Alan just went a little too hard at Tyler in the group chat yesterday, and
Tyler retired from 1252. He's now just hiding.
He's now Aaron Rodgers' personal hype guy.
Ball washer.
Whoa.
Ball washer.
You took that the opposite.
I was just kidding.
Yeah, you know, there's a pill for that.
Here? I didn't realize is Osayo, the edge rusher from Texas.
Really?
We were talking about in the first round. He just popped up on best available.
That's crazy that he's still available this deep in the
Look at these
second.
Packer fans, they're all cheering. Get out of here.
What are they happy about right
I
now?
don't even know.
That was all the Packer fans that bought Jordan Love jerseys last year. So they're ecstatic that Aaron Rodgers is leaving town.
Probability would tell you that they're not going to have a superstar quarterback for a while, right?
Right. No, I mean, yeah, statistically, there's about a 0.3% chance of their next.
I mean, you went from Favre to Rodgers. That's not fair. You can't do
really
that.
not.
Right. Two
That's
Hall of
not
Fame
fair.
quarterbacks back to back. That is extremely rare.
And had Rodgers fall to them.
Yeah.
Right. So I do just have to tell you guys, my boss is a Packers fan, so he
hold that thought.
Colts Man of the Year, Antoine Buffet.
Oh, we're holding.
Thank you, Vaughn. Happy to see you
Recording
doing
some-
well. And with the 54th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft,
follow.
the Indianapolis Colts select Dayo Odeyingbo.
Is that who you said? That's who Vince said, right?
Dayo Odeyingbo.
Close.
So he's a defensive end from Vanderbilt.
okay.
Second team All SEC last year with 32 tackles, 8 tackle for losses, 5.5 sacks, 6'5", 285. So now the interesting part of this is they've now gone D-end with their first 2 picks. You went out, you traded for Carson Wentz.
Right.
You've got your running back in Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
You've got Michael Pittman, who looks like he's going to be a decent young receiver.
I think he's going to be good.
So you've got him, but you've got nobody else. The only other guy you got is T.Y. Hilton, who can't stay healthy anymore.
Yeah, he's old. He's old.
So now you've got receivers that fall to you, and you decide to go DN twice. I love the Kwity Paye pick at 21. I do
like that pick.
I don't love passing on the receivers still here at 54 to get a guy that I feel you could have got possibly in the 3rd round. So
True. Understandable.
Terrace Marshall, Dwayne Eskridge, either one of those guys would have looked good there. However, we shift now to 55 as we're coming up here on the tail end of 64. We're at 55, and the Steelers are on the clock. They took Najee Harris in the 1st round.
Yeah.
Do you go quarterback here and get Big Ben's replacement?
When do they pick it next?
Do you go defense? Do you rebuild the offensive line? They had 2 offensive linemen retire this year, 2 starters.
So that's where I was going to lean was offensive line because I feel like the offensive line has been a little shaky at best the last couple of years.
There you go. You got Mean Joe Green. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Franco Harris. Yeah, Franco Harris out there.
Offensive lineman at pitch
Okay.
Let's find out. Lineman at pitch Let's find out. Hello. Thank you for that nice Cleveland welcome.
Cleveland's booing him.
Say hello
Pittsburgh.
to my Cleveland friend.
Arch rivals.
And here we go, Steelers. Yes.
Come on, Franco. Get to the pick, man.
With the 55th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Pat Freiermuth.
Tight end, Penn State.
Okay.
So they went Pat Freiermuth, the tight end out of Penn State. So that is a very interesting pick.
That it is, but where did they pick again next is the question, too.
Whatever they're picking the 3rd round is.
So the way this draft is going, potentially one of those quarterbacks is still available out there.
Oh, absolutely. I thought they could have used to get an offensive lineman when you had 2 of your starters retire and you were looking to upgrade your offensive line. Eric Ebron looked really, really good for them last year. It's an interesting pick. The kid's good. He's a good receiver. He's a good red zone guy, big-bodied receiver, and he can block. So, he's a complete package of tight end. The only other tight end we've seen up until this point was Kyle Pitts. So
Right.
Seattle had a big need at tight end. I thought they might go Freiermuth. I thought they might go Brevin Jordan. They're on the clock now here at 56 for the first time of the 2021 draft. So we had a lot of speculation during the offseason with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson wants them to rebuild the offensive line.
I mean, you got to think that's where that's going, right?
You're Seattle. You're right.
Yeah,
if you're Seattle,
that would be
you
the
kind of find
natural
yourself in the
selection.
same position that Green Bay was in last night, where you have a chance to try to mend the fence a little bit with Russell Wilson and go get him a solid offensive lineman here.
But no, they're going to take a defensive lineman or.
You think so?
No, I don't think so.
So real quick, I was on the phone when the Steelers picked. I want to say that I think it's like I would have gone offensive line and then look for a quarterback in the third round, right? Because obviously Big Ben is like, I heard you guys talking. He's pretty much done. You got to find somebody to replace him. And their offensive line has looked suspect for a couple of years now.
So Big Ben's going on what, 40?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
The funny thing, and not to switch gears, but the interesting thing is they talked about, will any of these quarterbacks make it to the third round? Well, we're now at 56 of 64. Seattle doesn't need a quarterback. The Rams don't need a quarterback. Kansas City doesn't need a quarterback. Tampa Bay, maybe Tampa Bay takes one at the end of this round. But before that, I mean, you're really setting yourself up for, if Tampa doesn't take one, none of these three going in the second round.
Yeah.
Right. And that would be outstanding to see with as far as Justin Fields fell, right? Obviously to 11 before the Bears scooped him up. Mac Jones being the last of the top tier, I'll say, quarterbacks to go to New England at what, 15?
Yes.
Yeah.
New England had the 15th pick.
Yep.
So there's been a huge gap here, boys, until any other quarterback gets picked. I mean, you've got almost a complete round between quarterback picks potentially. That's huge. That's a big gap. And
I don't know what's the longest gap early on like this that it's gone, but that is
well, and now with me, with Seattle up here, I think they got to go offensive line. You got Creed Humphrey is still there, the center. They could use the center. Jalen Mayfield is still there. He's more of a tackle. Really, you got a lot of tackles out there. Spencer Brown, James Hudson are still there. If it's me, I think I take definitely offensive line. They need a center. They need a guard. I know that they always tend to go defense, but I would just have to help Russ out and get him some offensive line. I think I'd go Quinn Miernes from Wisconsin Whitewater.
I reached out to him to come on one of our shows.
Yeah.
And he told me he was a little busy, but he would let me know after the draft. So I'm going to reach out to him again and see.
So he's a center guard out of Wisconsin Whitewater. They had a couple injuries up there this year, which opened the door for him to play. And he went to the Senior Bowl, I believe it was, he went to, and tore it up. And he's looked great. He's that mean, nasty type offensive lineman. The Quentin Nelson type, the guard. Guard like the defender coming in.
Can you comfortably say Quentin Nelson type about everybody though, or about anybody though? I'm sorry.
Obviously the talent, you don't know that the talent is there, but that edge, that meanness to you.
Okay, I got you. I understand.
It's just that they have that different. There's a lot of offensive linemen are mean, but then there's that little extra meanness in you. And the other thing. I don't think Seattle's going to go this route, but I'm just saying in general, I'm looking at the best available, and you've got Terrace Marshall, Dwayne Eskridge, Diami Brown, Tutu Atwell. There's a lot of receivers dominating the best available right now. Yeah. Amari Rogers is still there. I mean, there's quite a bit. So here comes Seattle's pick. Max Strong, two-time Pro Bowl fullback, making the pick. That's a cool name, Max Strong.
Max Strong.
NFL draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Dwayne Eskridge.
Wow.
That's
wow.
Okay.
So you take a team that has DK Metcalf, that has Tyler Lockett, and now you add 5'8", 184, Dwayne Eskridge out of Western Michigan, who I know my boy Amir, they went there, Amir Ishmael, he trained him in the offseason. He got him ready for the draft. Well, here he goes in the second round. And this kid can straight fly. He's a Tyler Lockett type. So now you're going to look at an offense that's going to have DK Metcalf, who's a physical freak, and then Tyler Lockett and another Tyler Lockett right next to him.
That could get very interesting very quickly.
Russ
I think
said all along in this process, the thing was that Russ was upset because he wanted the ball in his hand and let him cook. Well, get ready because Seattle looks like they're going to throw the ball 50 times a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, like you said, you get another guy like Tyler Lockett out there on the field, and not only that, DJ Metcalf is a freak of a player, as you said. So then you look at it, you've got three guys that are just nasty, one that's almost unearthly athletic, and then two that are just going to burn you in whatever route they run. And that could be an interesting offense with Russ. I mean, Russ still has a lot left in the tank.
Hell yeah.
I think, we look at him as one of those guys that's starting to age. He's probably at the top of his potential, I would say. I don't think he's going to get any better. I think he's going to be very good for the next few seasons, but I don't think he's going to get any better. And, you put weapons like that around him, well, then maybe you squeeze just a little bit more out of him. And obviously it's no secret, I would have taken Russ on the Bears in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been an immediate improvement to what we had. Now we've got the future Russ Wilson, hopefully, on our team. We've got a guy that's
hopefully
going to be able to run those RPOs and be very dynamic, be able to use his feet to make a play, not scared to, kind of put his shoulder down. I remember watching Russ play back when he was a Badger up at the University of Wisconsin. I went to a couple games when he was playing up there in college, and I loved watching him at that level, and I see a lot of similarities between him and Fields in that regard.
Well, he was asked like who he thought his game or like who he modeled his game after, and Russ was one of those guys that he loved his deep ball accuracy, how he could extend plays with his legs. And I agree, man. Like if we could fall into a Russell Wilson type of quarterback, that would be phenomenal.
So what a cool situation here. Picks 56, 57, 58. 56 was Seattle. 57 right now is the Rams, and 58 is Kansas City. Three, perennial Super Bowl contenders that are now picking for the first time of the night or of the draft here in the second round. And then you've got Carolina at 59, who made that first pick at 8, and they've traded back twice or three times since then?
Mm-hmm.
3 times, I believe.
So now they're at 59. So the Rams, they got about 35 seconds left. We see Sean McVay's walking around the Rams draft house, which I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently the Rams have a draft house in Malibu. And
a draft house?
So it says Rams draft house.
I see it, yeah, right on over the
Malibu,
water.
California, with a big old picture of Roger Goodell hanging on the wall.
How ridiculous is that setup right now?
We've got the draft.
I need to get that
there.
Roger Goodell picture, just put it in my house. And then when people are like, oh, who is that? I'm like, oh, that's the commissioner of the NFL. What do you mean?
Who is that? That's my grandpa. No, that's the commissioner of the NFL, damn it.
That's Roger Goodell, bro. That's exactly who you think it is.
The Rams, they've got a few holes. They went out and they got Matt Stafford, who, will give them the upgrade from Jared Goff, but they paid for it. They had to. Yep. They not only gave up Goff, but they had to give up the first round picks to offset that money that they were taking on for Jared Goff. So we'll see where they go here. There's some good players here. Carlos Basham from Wake Forest, the D end is still there. I wouldn't think they'd go receiver, but you never know. They could go anyway. This draft has been definitely not exactly the way you thought it would go.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Absolutely. This draft has been nothing really of what we thought it was going to be. From the second pick on, really, 3 and 4, I mean, you pretty much knew what was going to happen there one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you knew that those guys were going to be in the top 5 or 6 picks. But
the other thing about the Rams, they have a new defensive coordinator in Raheem Morris. So, he runs a 4-3. So he'll be switching over to a 4-3 this year. They need a center. They got center and D end are the two. I'd have to either go Basham, the D end, or Marin is the center out of Wisconsin Whitewater. So we'll see who it is. They're walking up right now. Looks like it's Orlando Pace.
Pace is making his way somewhat slowly up to the podium to announce the selection.
Man, I was so excited when the Bears got Orlando Pace, but he was already done.
Yeah, he was
right.
toast.
He was toast by the time.
It seemed to be their thing. They'd get the lineman a little bit too late.
Yeah.
In the 2021 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Tutu Atwell.
Wow.
Maybe they figured Matt Stafford didn't have an offensive line in Detroit, and
maybe
he had
we
a bunch
should
of
give them
receivers.
one.
So
They said he's got 3 characteristics: speed, speed, and speed. He's 5'9", 153 pounds. So it's another weird. Obviously the kid is talented, but it's another surprise.
Right, like I saw them taking some kind of offensive line help. I thought.
You've got a team.
Yeah,
with,
you would think they'd want to give them that, but
you got Cooper Kupp, you got Robert Woods. They signed Deshaun Jackson.
Right, it's kind of.
They lost Josh Reynolds, but they got the other guys, and then they still had a couple other guys that played there last year. I'm just surprised that with your first pick, because it's the first pick they're making, that's where they went.
Right.
Right.
Especially like Stafford's not getting any younger, right?
No, and I mean, and you talk about getting weapons, but you already gave him. He's already got Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. It's hard to find enough balls to go around to everybody.
Right. No, that's the thing. Honestly, that was one of the trades, not to move away from the draft too much, but them trading for Matt Stafford was one of the trades that kind of blew my mind early in the offseason.
Yeah.
Because, as you said, it's not like he's getting any older, or any younger. He is 33 years old, going to be 34 this year, which isn't, I don't want to say that's old.
I mean, in football terms, it is, though.
In terms of
an athlete,
I can't believe that Jalen Mayfield is still on the board. It's a guy that people saw at the end of the first, beginning of the second, and now we're almost out of the first round, and he's
almost
still
out of the second round.
out of the second round, and he's still sitting there. There's definitely been some surprises.
You never know. I mean, this draft has just been surreal with some of the things that have happened, the way players have landed, where they've gone. The pick's in.
The pick is in. So you've got Kansas City here at 58, Carolina at 59. Now it becomes, is the Saints at 60? Are they where we see that first quarterback go?
Yeah. Right.
Or do we make it all the way out of this second round before any of them go?
I think you take a shot on a quarterback if you're the Saints.
I'll tell you what, if Terrace Marshall is still there, you've got to go get him if you're the Saints. You got Michael Thomas and nobody else.
That's true. That is true.
And now without Drew Brees, you've got nobody to keep Michael Thomas in check. So
that is true, but they also need a quarterback.
Another receiver. And you re-signed Jameis Winston. You got Taysom Hill. The kid went to LSU. I know that doesn't make you have to take him because he went to LSU, but I just feel another big-time receiver to pair with Michael Thomas. I mean, it's something they've never had.
Right.
I do see it, but they rely on their guys like Alvin Kamara, and their backfield is more dynamic. They can run. They can obviously throw the ball to their running backs a little bit more, and I think they take a quarterback here just for the simple fact that they have to have someone to develop in that quarterback room. I mean, obviously, Jameis Winston isn't a top tier quarterback.
So I shared that pick that Angelo shared earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
my buddy that's a San Francisco fan said, "I'll trade you."
I'm sure he would. Kansas
City.
In the 2021 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Nick Bolton,
linebacker.
There we go.
Missouri linebacker Nick Bolton off the board, number 58 overall to Kansas City. Good position.
I like
good
it for
position to fall into when you're taken by the team that's been in the Super Bowl the last 2 years and won it, one of them.
Right.
He was a Butt Kiss Award finalist as the nation's top linebacker in 2020. The kid is a sure tackler. He is a interior linebacker. He's 6 foot, 232 pounds. Obviously, he's going to put some muscle on once he gets to the NFL and they get him on the weight program and everything. But the kid can play. He's got good instincts from that middle linebacker spot. Kansas City runs at 4-3 under Spagnuolo. So we'll see. That brings us to 59 with Carolina, where we inch closer and closer here to the end of the second round. Did either of you see the story that came out about an hour ago about Joe Horn being upset? So Joe Horn, Adam Schefter reported it. Joe Horn, he used to play wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints. Big-time receiver. He's a great player. His son is J.C. Horn.
Oh, yeah, I did see this.
Yeah.
J.C. Horn was picked by the Panthers at 8 overall?
Yeah.
Yep.
So he was the first defensive player off the board. His son, Joe Horn, JC's dad, went on. I'm not sure where it was he was on, but he was very upset that they did not put too much of him on TV, his reaction and stuff like that, because they were too busy talking about Aaron Rodgers and the quarterbacks, when they were going to go and everything. So the kid just got drafted in the NFL, and the first thing that happens is his dad goes out and is bashing everybody for not giving him enough attention.
That's a bad look. You know who that reminds me of?
LeVar Ball.
Exactly. And that, honestly, what did that do to his boys? It made a lot of teams hesitant to want to go after him because Dad's too influential. Dad goes on ESPN and says things he shouldn't say. Dad pisses this person off. Dad does this to this person. And that, obviously, don't get me wrong, his two oldest sons are playing currently in the NBA, just as J.C. Horn's already an NFL player, but it's just a bad look. Come on, man. You got to know that your son just gave everything, his entire life. He's waited for that moment.
Yep.
And the first thing that surrounds him is some bad publicity. Come on, get out of here with that shit.
From his own dad. That's the worst part.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a fan of LeVar Ball at all.
No.
I feel like he was just trying to ride his kids' success.
Yeah,
maybe
and then
I'm wrong.
He comes out and says he can beat Jordan one-on-one and all this bullshit.
Let's be real here,
right?
Silly guy. Now, if Allen wanted to be like, "Hey, LeVar, Lonzo might come to the Bulls. You want to come on and talk with my guys?" I'd be like, "Hell yeah, let's talk to the guy."
Right.
But I would not. I just don't agree with the way he went about it. Just same thing with that. Like, let your kid enjoy his moment.
Exactly. And when you overshadow it like that, that's something people are going to always talk about.
Right.
So
we got Carolina here at 59 to pick us in. We thought they would go offensive line in the first round at 8. They kind of threw a curveball, everybody, and they went J.C. Horn, which kind of shuffled up the draft a little bit, made Denver have to go Surtain, which then left Dallas without a corner till the second round. Do they go offensive line here now? At 59, they haven't picked. They've traded back. We've talked about that. They traded back the last 2 or 3 times. Do we think they go offensive line here? Do they address another issue? Do they go linebacker? They try to replace Luke Kuechly, who retired a couple years ago. What's the play here? Let's start with you, Angelo. If you're the GM, you're the one making a call. Where are you going here at 59? So don't have to be a specific player. A position will do.
Yeah. So I'd like to think their defense was a little rough last year. Right. So why not try to take one of these defensive players that you can put in, hopefully plug a spot. Who are their linebackers right now on that team?
So they have, don't they have Shaq Mason?
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
I almost said Shaq Barrett, but that's on the Bucs.
Tampa is Shaquille Barrett.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I would look for, a linebacker, somebody who can kind of fill that spot on the defense that's been lacking. That's just me, though. I think their defense was suspect for a while.
So now you got Carolina 59, New Orleans 60, and Buffalo 61. So we're getting, and then Tampa 64. So we're getting out of these whole Kansas City will pick again. We're getting out of the whole teams that could use a quarterback. Be interesting to see if one trades up here at the end of the second round to get one. Tarble, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Where would you go if you're Carolina?
I think that their move is probably to go after a linebacker or a defensive leader as well. I don't think that they're going to go offensive line at this point in time, just because there are still some guys, not immediate impact starters at offensive line, but there's still some guys out there that are going to be available in the third.
And they did sign a guard and a tackle in the offseason as well. So
right,
yeah, exactly. You have to take that into account.
They go with it here at 59.
59th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. The Carolina Panthers select Terrace Marshall Jr., wide receiver, LSU. There we go.
That's an interesting move.
So I like it a lot for them. What it does is it now puts Terrace Marshall and Robbie Anderson on the outsides, and it gives you DJ Moore specific or exclusively in the slot.
Right.
Terrace Marshall, I believe he's 6'5", 6'4", something like that. Robbie Anderson is 6'4", 6'5". You get those big targets on the outside that are fast, that can run deep, stretch the field, along with a guy like DJ Moore who can stretch the field. So Terrace Marshall, he's only 6'2", but it's still big for a receiver. He's 6'2" and a half, 205 pounds, but he can play on the outside. He can play in the slot. DJ Moore was picked up his fifth year option. Robbie Anderson had a good first year with Carolina. He's reunited with Sam Darnold from their time with the Jets.
Yep.
Right.
A lot of deep touchdowns to Robbie Anderson from Sam Darnold. So now when you go with Terrace Marshall, you add him to Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. You've got three guys that can play at any of the three receiver spots and can all stretch the field.
Yeah,
not to mention a running back like Christian McCaffrey who can catch the ball underneath and can run. So, I like it for him. I thought it was a really good pick. Especially at 59, it's such value. A guy that would be off the board early in the second round, if not the end of the first round, to get him at 59 is just
it's huge.
A huge get. And kudos to them for moving back 3 times.
Yeah, and still getting somebody
draft picks and still getting. They took J.C. Horn at 8, and now they've taken Terrace Marshall here at 59. So you brought up a good point there, Vince. I do have to ask, what do you guys think Sam Darnold's impact is going to be? I think they're lining him up very well to succeed there.
Yeah, I agree with Vince. I think having Christian McCaffrey definitely helps. They'll take so much pressure off of him. You give him a weapon, for next season, obviously, and now he can distribute the ball to a few different places, take some pressure off of him with the run game. I think they're putting the pieces in place for him to show some kind of growth and hopefully bring this team a little bit further than they've been.
Can I take a minute to bash the Packers again?
Yes, absolutely.
You don't ever have to ask to do that on our show.
The Packers are at 62.
Yeah.
Carolina picked at 59.
Yeah.
You've seen them move back 3 times. And it didn't have to be Carolina. How do you not move up just a handful of spots to go get Terrace Marshall for Aaron Rodgers?
Because the Packers I firmly believe that the Packers don't want Rodgers back. Because I think that they're saying they do, so they don't look like the bad guys.
Here we go. Here's the Saints.
They don't really want him back.
The Saints go quarterback.
Kellen Mond.
If they don't hear, I don't see anybody getting a quarterback this round.
The New Orleans Saints select Pete Werner.
Linebacker. The Ohio State linebacker, Pete Werner.
I hate how they say the Ohio State. Get the fuck out of here.
Did you hear the whole hoopla about Cap's interview he did the other day?
No.
So he was on that show in the morning. Was it Jay Will and Keyshawn?
Yeah. Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Zubin.
Yeah. So I guess they asked him to be on for the Bears because they were doing a mock draft.
Yeah.
So they had him on. Did you make the Bears pick? So he picked Greg Newsome, the corner of Northwestern. And apparently, I didn't hear it, but apparently Cap said the Northwestern University.
Yeah, he did. And I heard it.
John let him have it.
It was hilarious.
Since when did Northwestern become the Northwestern? They're talking all sorts of trash.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was a good cut. If you get a chance to listen to it, Angelo, look.
I will. I'm going to go back and look at it.
So now here we are at 61 Buffalo, 62 Green Bay, 63 Kansas City, 64 Tampa. No, and no for quarterbacks.
Unless Tampa takes one.
I'm not so sure at
Except
64
for Tampa.
there.
I'm sorry, you are right. Unless Tampa takes one.
At this point, I could see Tampa being like, all right, well, why not? You
right.
know?
Tampa has the best pick of the tier 2 quarterbacks.
Right.
And
I mean,
potentially. And it's one of those things where if they really believe that Tom's going to play until he's 45, like he's saying, he's saying there's no end in sight. He said he felt better than he ever has as a player this past season.
Why would there be an end in sight? He just won a Super Bowl, and they brought all 22 starters back.
Well, and like he's playing in Tampa now, man. Like,
but I mean,
got to deal with that New England weather. That's why he feels so good.
Exactly.
And now going into next year, they're probably going to have home field in the playoffs. And now the gelling has now happened.
Well, no, the Bears are going to have home field in the playoffs next year. Let's chill out.
I like it. So they'll
like it.
Tampa
optimistic, but I like it.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
But as I was saying there, I mean, I think that if you've got Tom Brady for another couple years, why not go after a guy that's right now is a tier 2 pick and then develop him under the GOAT? I'll say it. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yep.
I don't think there's any debate on that. He's got the most rings. He's surpassed everyone. I mean, he's done everything. Tom Brady is the GOAT at the quarterback position. And if you can develop a guy that's, average quarterback at best and put him under Tom Brady, he may become a good quarterback just because he's learning from such, a phenomenal talent. So I think they have to go quarterback at 64, but we shall see, boys.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if anybody moves up. It's always a prime spot, the end of the rounds. Buffalo's pick is in, so that'll leave Green Bay, Kansas City, and Tampa.
The Cubs fucking suck.
The Cubs do suck.
Buffalo going running back here.
They're terrible right now.
I could see him going running back. I could see him going tackle. Nobody took Jalen Mayfield yet, did they?
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, no, there he is, number 4, best available, Jalen Mayfield. So I could see them going Jalen Mayfield here with this pick for Buffalo. I could see them going the other running back out of North Carolina, maybe Trey Sermon out of Ohio State. I could see them going running back here. Or I could see
they should get some offensive linemen to help protect Mitch. That's what they should get.
To help protect Mitch.
And Joseph Asai still Texas. So
the thing that cracks me up is there's still, I don't think as of today, but prior to Justin Fields being drafted by Chicago, there were still groups saying that the Bears made a mistake by trading away Mitch Trubisky. There were actually fans that thought that they should have kept him in Chicago. It's like mind-boggling.
That's what I mean. Like, hopefully this draft brings the fan base back together because I'm tired of arguing with people about is Cutler good or not, or is Mitch good, or is it Matt Nagy's dude, let's just hope that Fields comes in, he's the quarterback for the next 20 years. We win 7 Super Bowls. I'll be good.
Right.
That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for.
I don't want my children to grow up with the same pain that I grew up with as a Bears fan, okay?
Absolutely. You know how hard it is living in Wisconsin?
I know that you guys don't care, but I, as a Bears fan and a Browns fan, am loving this draft.
I figured as a Bears fan, we've talked about that.
But
you've been pretty hyped on the Browns picks, too.
Well, I'm a big Browns fan. I like them. And Baker finally looks like he finally got his shit together. However, we're going to go to Buffalo's pick here. Remind me after the pick, I've got my take on what Cleveland should have done, and I think they missed out big time.
Ooh, a nice little tease. I like it.
All right, here we go. With the 61st pick in the 2021 draft, the Buffalo Bills select Carlos Basham Jr.
Another great pick, D-end out of Wake Forest, Carlos Basham off the board at 61 to Buffalo. He will help that defensive line. That's 2 DNs that they went with now. They got Greg Rousseau and now they've got Carlos Basham. So get a little pressure off the edges there now from Buffalo. Great defense, just got better with both picks. So, they're going to have to help that offense out a little bit, but the defense keeps getting better and better there in Buffalo, which takes us to 62 to Green Bay.
And what does Green Bay do, boys? Do they go after another defensive player that won't help Aaron Rodgers?
I'll tell you what, if you're Green Bay, the pick is in.
Bro, I can't wait to unleash how bad this pick's going to be for Green Bay.
It's got to be Tylan Wallace.
That was quick.
It's got to be Tylan Wallace or there's an Amari Rogers out of Clemson. It's got to be one of those two to help out Aaron Rodgers.
They're like, is there a special teams player that we like in the second round?
Is there a kicker we like?
They'll draft a running back.
So their team needs is wide receiver, defensive tackle, and linebacker.
That punter.
Diami Brown is still there. So you've got Diami Brown, Tylan Wallace, and Amari Rogers all still there for receivers. I just, I don't get it. Oh, they're making their pick. He's walking out.
Only different players. Rousseau's going to have to match this guy's intensity. All right, guys, they're coming fast and furious now. The Green Bay Packers on the clock. Here we go. How everybody doing tonight?
Rashawn Gary making the pick.
But yeah, before I get to the pick,
oh my God.
Organization, Green Bay Packers, for giving me an opportunity to represent our organization to the best I can. I want to thank the NFL for giving me an opportunity.
Quit eating cheese. Get on with the pick.
Packers fans up front, we're not done yet, so I'm letting y'all know we're getting one. So with that being said, the second pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, Green Bay Packers select Josh Myers, center, Ohio State. Go Blue.
Two-year starter Josh Myers played guard in high school, so now your word versatility that you use all the time seems to apply.
It really does. I think when you look at Josh Myers,
what do you think, boys?
312.
Green Bay Packers.
I want to see his stats. Vince, read them off for me.
So 6'5". he was 6'5", 312. 2019 second team All Big Ten, 2020 first team All Big Ten. 2-year starter at Ohio State, was a high school guard before switching over to center.
Don't the Packers have a center?
Do they still have Lindsey, or did he leave?
Oh, he might have retired, actually.
He might have retired. You're right.
Yeah.
So the Kansas City Chiefs pick is in. Before they get to all that, I love they're showing him. I love that they're showing him because everything they're showing is Justin Fields tape.
Absolutely.
So they went Eric Stokes in round 1 at 29, and now round 2 at 62. They go Josh Myers, center, Ohio State, leaving them still without a receiver to pair up with Devontae Adams. So I had said about the Browns, if I'm the Browns, Baker Mayfield has made big strides, but he still is not that guy where you're like, wow, he's top 5, top 7 quarterback in the NFL. I would have taken Baker Mayfield. I would have paired him up with some draft picks because you don't have a whole lot of holes. I would have paired him up with some draft picks, and I'd have sent it to Houston for Deshaun Watson. Or if
for a guy
want
that
to
might not even
picks,
play, though.
Or if you don't want to give up draft picks, I'd give up Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham to Houston for Deshaun Watson.
Or
Jarvis Landry.
Again, for a guy that might not play.
Take either one of them. Well,
that's the only thing is he might not play, right?
But at the time, you didn't know you didn't know all this was going to come out,
right?
When the whole trading for him first came up. Secondly, from everything we've heard, they don't expect there to be any criminal charges,
right?
And they don't expect him to miss games.
Okay,
we don't know. That's just what they've said. Whether that's how it's going to be or not, we'll see. But that's what I would have done if I was Cleveland. I know they're all in on Baker, but I would have found a way to get Deshaun Watson.
Angelo's turning on the lights down there.
I hit the wrong button. Sorry.
Here we go, Kansas City.
You blinded me for a quick second.
I got real blue there for a minute.
Yeah.
21 draft. The Kansas City Chiefs select Creed Humphrey.
Center.
That's not a bad pick for them.
Well, there he is now. He's in the
I like it. I think that's
they needed some
pick
offensive
for them.
line
They
help.
needed some offensive line.
Yep. They've now got a lot of offensive line help. They traded for Orlando Brown Jr.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They signed Kyle Long.
Yep.
They get their 3-name offensive lineman. I forget his name, but they get him back. He that opted out last year to be a doctor and fight COVID. And they now have added Creed Humphrey from Oklahoma.
I just want to highlight what you said there real quick. How crazy is that? One of their offensive linemen didn't play for the year so he could go be a doctor.
That's
and
admirable.
treat COVID. That's so admirable.
Yeah, for sure.
So Tampa's pick is in.
What do you guys think? I'm saying quarterback.
So there is no trade.
Quarterback,
their pick.
Davis Mills.
I could see that. I could see they got the D end in the first round. I could see them going running back here. Ronald Jones has not been consistent. Leonard Fournette is never consistent. So I could see them. Keshawn Vaughn has not been the guy they thought they might get with him. So I could definitely see them going running back here with Trey Sermon out of Ohio State.
Okay.
Otherwise we'll see a name for them. Look in the fifth and sixth rounds, maybe, probably. Puka Williams out of Kansas.
You think he's going to fall to the 6th?
I don't know if he falls to the 6th, but I think.
Okay, I guess you said 5th and 6th.
I could see Tampa going and getting him. He's like your LaShawn McCoy, fast, speedy guy. Smaller than LaShawn McCoy. He's more, he's kind of like Darren Sproles, but that build, but
right,
pretty dynamic. So we'll see. But this round right here, 64. All I'm going to say is, give me yes or no. Quarterback at 64.
Yes.
Tarble?
Yes.
So both of you say yes.
Yes. I just think you brought everybody back from last year. So what is your real biggest need? Tom Brady's old. You fill that quarterback, have him sit for a little while behind Tom and develop. And 3 years from now, I know it seems like a stretch in today's NFL, but the guy doesn't play. You go to him and say, hey, we want to restructure.
Curveball here. So with the receivers that have fallen here, Diami Brown from North Carolina, Anthony Schwartz from Auburn. There's a couple others that have fallen. Tyler Wallace from Oklahoma State. This is about where they thought he'd go. Does it make sense if you're Tampa Bay, you have Antonio Brown on a 1-year deal? You have Chris Godwin playing on the franchise tag. After that, you've got Scotty Miller and Mike Evans. Does it make sense to go get a big-time receiver here now that some have fallen and have him maybe not be a big factor this year, but you have him if you lose Godwin next year, if you lose Antonio Brown after this year, if something happens with Mike Evans and you decide not to pay him?
And he's had a history with getting injured a little bit.
His hamstring. He's always got a hamstring problem.
Right. So, that's not far-fetched either, man. That's a good point, too.
Yeah, I do like your point, and you definitely gave a good explanation there, Vince. I just think that here at this spot with their choice of the round 2 level quarterbacks, it's got to be a quarterback, and I'm saying it's going to be Davis Mills.
How many more picks does Tampa have? I'm waiting for it to pop up on screen. Because I'm thinking, okay, so let's say they do take one of these bigger named wide receivers that are left on the board, right? If they had a couple picks left, they could look to package something to move up a little bit in the 3rd round. And
Mel's got him at running back and D-end his team needs. How crazy is that when it pops up?
I don't think they need a running back.
How crazy is that, though, that it pops up? Your team needs is running back D-end. You got your edge guy in the 1st round. So that'll be your D-end. So you got your D-end. Your only other need is a running back, but you have 2 starters in front of them. Your only need is your 3rd running back.
Right. It's a nice boat to be in, boys.
They did a complete 180, huh? From where they were before Tom got there.
Baby.
That's crazy.
Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Brown.
It's wild, man. That team turned it around
Absolutely
so fast.
Wild.
It's crazy.
I hate to say it, but they pretty much bought a championship right there. They spent all the money necessary
for the last pick here. Did you guys hear? I know we've talked about it a little bit, Tarble, on our show, but Angela, did you hear the Gronkowski story from this past season. They had to do, everything was Zoom last offseason.
Yeah.
And he filmed himself in a bunch of different shirts in one day.
Yeah, one day. So
he just sent it in like it was a new day.
Think smarter, right?
So in 2018, they took Vita Vea and Ronald Jones in rounds 1 and 2. In 2019, they took Devin White and Sean Murphy Bunning in round 2. In 2020, Tristan Wirfs and Antoine Winfield Jr. Talk about a great first 2 rounds. Tristan Wirfs turned into one of the best tackles in football as a rookie. And Antoine Winfield is everything he was advertised and more.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. How much time we got on the clock for this pick, Vince?
The pick is in. It's been in for a minute.
It's been in. They think they took their last big commercial before the end of the second round.
Okay.
Because the next pick is Jacksonville for third round.
Okay, I got you. I was curious because I didn't know how much time I had to talk before they came back.
Right.
Go ahead.
I always start something and then I get cut off.
Yeah, you have been because these picks be coming in right as you're about.
They just be going rapid fire at this
They're
point.
not showing them walk out to the podium, so all of a sudden the camera changes and somebody's standing at the podium.
Just hear the jingle and bam, they're there.
Yep.
And I've got it on mute, so I don't even hear the jingle.
Talking about, I want to thank every single player that's ever played for this organization. My brother, my sister, my mom, my cousins, my aunt, my nephews.
I don't know who this is walking out, but is somebody walking out to make the pick?
Warren Sapp.
No, that's what I thought it was.
Warren Sapp.
It's not him. Let's go live to the last pick of the Turtles Take 2-night draft special. The Tampa Bay
it has been
Bucs
special, boys.
Absolutely.
On behalf of the NFL, we'd like to thank you for your Midwestern hospitality while we've been here. It's a great pleasure. I'm here to represent the 2021 Super Bowl champions, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. On behalf of the Glazer family, Brian Ford and the administrative staff of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, my God, another one.
And, of course,
right.
The Super Bowl champion coach,
Bruce Arians.
Mr. Bruce Arians and his coaching staff. What a fantastic crew and what a fantastic job they did this past year.
Just tell me the pick already.
Right, we know they won the Super Bowl. All right, man. Cool. I watched it.
They had a pick already.
The 2021 NFL Draft. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Kyle Trask.
I told you, quarterback, baby.
I thought Davis Mills was going to be the first to go out of those quarterbacks.
Quarterback.
Yeah, I told you.
It's Kyle Trask staying in the state of Florida.
Yep.
Wow. What? That's a guy that you can develop. I mean,
and
that's a smart pick, man.
That is the best.
You needed somebody behind Tom Brady.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Like we all talked about, you needed somebody behind Tom Brady, and you didn't have any holes.
Right.
Your holes were a third string running back.
Right.
And a rotation D end.
And they can look for a wide receiver next round.
Yeah, I mean, you can still get a receiver in the third round. And again, when I brought up receiver, that's still saying you still have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Scotty Miller all on your roster.
Right. That Tampa Bay team is stacked. Obviously, they're not going to be able to bring back everyone the following season after this upcoming season.
Pick is already in.
Jacksonville's pick is
I'm not getting into the third round.
No, we're not getting into the third round. I'm just saying how fast they got their third round pick in.
Well, that's kind of what happens now, right? Everybody's like, all right, this is
exactly. As you go forward, they stop showing them all. They just put them on the screen. They just flash.
Right. Well,
you're like, all right,
boys. I do have to say, for sharing almost 7 hours of airtime with you guys over the last 2 days.
Don't forget, you guys were on Wednesday, too.
Wednesday is hour and a half, 2 hours we were on Wednesday.
So we spent like 10 hours together in the last 3 days.
I spent more time with you guys than I did my kids. No, that's a lie. But
I get the point. I feel you.
It's been a minute.
It's been terrific, guys. I would not want to share these airwaves with anyone else for that extended amount of time. So Angelo,
say the same thing.
Angelo, we do appreciate you coming on with us.
It was a lot of fun, Tarble, but I would say that I would like to share these airwaves for 10 hours with Justin Fields right now.
That would be nice. Not 10 hours. The guy's
Jenkins.
10 hours is a long time to talk to a guest. I don't know.
Yeah, 10 hours is a long time.
I'd love to get Fields and Tevin on. That'd be
like,
sweet.
what if they both were on as like co-hosts and they were just chilling and we were talking football?
I mean, I'd be cool with that.
And
maybe someday.
Andre Cisco to Jacksonville to start the third round.
Stop it. We're not talking third round.
No, I'm just telling you that there was a pick made. I'm just telling you, it's not like
I know. I'm just messing with you. But no, honestly, guys, in all reality, it was a great time being here with you guys the last couple days.
How the hell did Minnesota get up to 66?
Somebody hit the lights.
They made a trade.
They get the second pick in the third round.
Unlike the song "Turn on the Lights," Angelo's turning off the lights. So, again, we want to thank everyone that was here with us through these 2 nights. Everybody that came out to enjoy their draft coverage here with us live on the 1252 Sports Chicago Network.
There's a lot of our faces, but you all stuck with it.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate you. Go hit that like and subscribe button on our YouTube page, please.
Get over to YouTube, boys and girls.
With that being said, I want to also give a shout out to our sponsors. A big thank you to the Jonathan Darren team with the Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group, as well as our guy Paul and the entire team out at Nick and Ivy Brewing in beautiful downtown Lockport, Illinois. With that being said, thank you all. You've been terrific. Thank you guys. It's been a great show. I appreciate having you guys on.
And thank you guys for coming on and, helping out, make this this draft party a lot of fun. We got to see some history with the Bears. We got to see some great picks.
Yeah.
We're leaving this show with the best.
Next year's draft, we go and do a live show wherever it is. And we just have a big 1252 weekend draft party.
I like it. I think there's no way we could have had a better feeling after the 2 nights of this show right now.
No matter what happens the rest of the draft.
Right.
Don't forget, coming up here on 1252 Sunday night, we've got Les Grobstein and David Schuster coming back out with another episode of the Grobstein and Schuster Express, as well as Monday night we've got our guy Fred Hubner with Fred's Hubes Views and Brews. Really interesting shows there, so make sure you guys tune into both of them. Fat Mike will be back next Wednesday, I believe. Is that correct, Angelo?
We'll see. I don't know.
See.
Maybe.
You be determined.
There might be a sport court.
Okay. Well, without dropping any breaking news, we've got those 2 shows Sunday and Monday, and you'll be seeing something soon about the following show after Monday night. So thank you guys for being with us. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to our viewers. Everybody have a good night.
Good night, guys.